What's poppin', Mary Poppins?
What's good, bro?
So,
How was
Papa?
that their expo that you were attending?
It was fun and eventful. Got to meet a lot of people, man. Got to meet a lot of people. Got to meet some fans as well, dude. Fans. Can't believe we have so many fans.
That's awesome, man. That is hella awesome. How was it meeting Dave?
Dave Levison, you saw the picture. Did you not see the picture?
Oh, I seen the picture.
Hold
That's
on.
what I was
Let me.
wondering how it was.
Did you want me to show everybody the picture? Because he looks
Yes.
kind of. Yeah,
Yes.
okay. Yeah, hold
Absolutely.
on. Hold on.
Yo,
Let
no
me get
more
it up.
Valley, Big these Pythons, Super Serpents being in the chat. What's up, homies? Real quick, while Chris loads that, shout out to JM Tobacco for these delightful cigars. Figure I'd give them a special shout out. I won some contest I signed up for. I don't ever win anything. Damn glad I won this one, man. These are amazing. Check them out. Plug them on my Instagram. Check my story out. Plug them after this.
Well, I can't download it. I had to screenshot that picture. It sucks. I'm not gonna be able to show everybody. Or can you screenshot it and send it to me? And
Yeah,
I
I
could
guess.
probably do it through like that. But on that, while we're doing that, I'm gonna just shout out everybody. Our sponsors, you already know, Reptile Group, CNB Reptiles, the one and only Captain Fred Reptile Shop in Arizona,
Number
the
one shop,
family.
undisputed. Well, number one shop will be disputed, but number one Captain Bread, undisputed. Shout out to Bill. I'll be riding with him to Pomona. Your boy will be in Pomona next weekend. Come say what's
Everybody, throw
up.
your
I
hands
will
up.
be working with Graceful Serpents Patrick at the expo. If I'm not behind his table helping him out, I will be running around like a chicken with his head cut off.
Bro, it's a lot of work, bro. It's a lot of work. I'm already exhausted thinking about Arlington because I got asked to volunteer for US Art, so I'm just like, fuck, it's a lot of work. Shout out KC Reptile Labs. Type in Flexin. Yeah, Flexin. You get 15% off your order when you purchase and you check out. Just type in Flexin. You get 50% off. You got South Bay Reptiles. A homeboy Josh, which I'm still waiting for my hat. Josh, ship your reptiles. Type in Flexin23 and you get $15 off your checkout order. Blue Tongue Republic, the one that's responsible for the design, the logos, everything that you see on that flyer right there behind us. And then we got Legion Tactical who does guns, and then we got Stitch and Clothing, new sponsor who's doing hats, shirts, you name it, does it all. Hit him up. That's the
Yes,
boy,
sir.
Itchy Richie. But that, anything on US Art?
I didn't do one. I was actually going to talk a little bit about what it was like being in San Antonio. What involved this new expo that came up? What involvement did they have with USR? What did you see while you were there?
Uh, Everybody, actually, the ones that are USARC members have that USARC on the table. But like some people are like, I don't even know what USARC is. So,
It's all bad, man. So what was there to educate people outside of the stuff on the table?
uh, just saying like they're a bronze member and they fight for our rights for the animals. That little, I guess, what do you want to call them? Little pamphlets on why USARC is, good for us in the reptile hobby.
Okay. Well, sounds like there needs to be a little bit more involvement, but hey, shout out to a startup, bro. You got to start somewhere, right?
They do, and they had what the fuck? The cops there, the WC or what are they called? TWC or
FWC.
FWC? Yeah, man. They would watch a like if somebody wanted to hold a reptile, they really can't because they needed a pet license to do that. Here in San Antonio, apparently, when you do an expo,
What
yeah,
the hell?
yeah,
That's
you have to have
dumb.
a pet shop. You have to have a pet shop license, bro, or permit. But I had my
That's why.
permit on me, but I just couldn't like use it there for anybody.
That's whack, bro. Well,
Yeah,
sounds like there needs to be some improvement going on.
but it just blew my mind, bro. It was just wild. But that was big, and every time everywhere I walk, dude, I got a shirt. Look,
Oh yeah.
more,
I'll tell you what, bro.
more.
Let's drop the intro. Let's get Michael in here. I'm excited to talk to this man. This is about to be a comedic show.
All right, well, let's do it.
Let's get the
Well,
get
we'll
the
keep talking
ball
about the
dropped.
what,
Let's get the ball
what,
dropped. Let's go.
what? No, I can't hear you.
What do I pay for?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sexin and
What's
Flexin
up?
Live Saturdays. We got Levi, my co-host from FTL Reptiles, and we got Michael from Strange Cargo Exotics. Say what's up,
What
bro.
is good, Michael?
What's up?
Whew, you're down there in Texas, right?
Your side of Texas, closest side to New Mexico. We're only an hour from the border of New Mexico.
Ooh,
What's up,
that
Eric?
doesn't sound fun.
It's not. It's been a nice, I can't complain to your weather, but as far as Texas weather, it's been a nice 105 for about 2.5 weeks now.
Yeah, join the club, bro. That's
Yeah.
that's a
But those good old 90-degree nights.
What happened to Levi? Oh, I'm just showing shirts off. Y'all can keep talking. I'm just showing off these shirts. Shirts they just gave me at the expo. I can't hear you, bro. Are you muted?
I'm not muted. I don't know what Levi. He keeps lagging.
Yeah. He's on that McDonald's Wi-Fi he keep talking about.
Oh, should have set up at Starbucks.
That's what I told him. But he don't go to Starbucks. He don't drink coffee, bro.
I don't either. I don't drink no coffee at all of any kind.
Really? I drink
At
coffee
all.
and whiskey.
See, I don't even do that. I just straight man it, just whiskey by itself.
Why not coffee and whiskey?
Just coffee ain't my thing. And even working the shifts that I do, all the guys I work with, every one of them drinks coffee. And out of 10 of us, I'm the only one that don't.
And then you get to smell their nasty ass coffee breath, right?
Do dirty
Like,
coffee.
how
Burn
you
it 'cause
doing?
they forget about it in that pot.
Where is he?
He said Michael Myers. No, it's Michael Voorhees, like Friday the 13th. Get it right.
Jason Voorhees.
Yo, my bad. I completely lost out there, bro. Like everything
Yeah.
froze up, and yeah, it hasn't been my week with tech, bro. Here or on my job.
So how many people were at that
You guys
show
hear
when
me
you
all
went to it?
Bro, okay, so when I got there, that expo was like dead empty, right? Not like empty. Maybe a couple of few hundred people. But then as time kept going, dude, that thing packed out.
That's pretty cool. We went to it when it was in Arlington at the convention center they had there downtown, and trying to get to it and trying to park and everything else, it wasn't working out. It was more of a headache than a pleasure of going to the one there in Arlington.
Bro, so what Dax and Tay did, they got me this little bracelet, so I just walked in like nothing.
That's your return to Daddy Dax have found or what?
Oh yeah? Yeah. He said
That's
return
what
to
it reads.
Daddy Dax.
That's what it
Yeah,
says
bro.
if you flip it inside out.
Damn. That one hurt. That one hurt, Mike. All right.
It's all cool. No hard feelings.
Hey, that logo is sick, right though, Eric? Fucking love that shit, bro. I had to switch locations too. I was trying to make the garage work again with all the fucking fans and ACs running. I couldn't hear shit.
So you went inside?
Hell yeah, I went inside, bro. It's fucking hot as shit out there too.
I know it's in like 125.
Nah.
Oh, it's not 125. It's only 120. No big deal. Nah, it's not that hot out there, but it's it's humid, bro.
Fuck that, dude. Here it's like 107.
Same.
What temperature
was
is it
like-
right now?
Shit.
Here.
It's fucking hot. I got to my car, I opened it up. It was like opening hell's door, dude. Like all that heat blowing at you.
Nope. Remote start. Gotta have
110, bro. 110. And
it.
right.
Yep.
So it's like living in Texas, bro. You might as well just move down here.
Nah, I'm good. So, Michael,
Where you-
what all do you work with, bro?
Man, so kind of some back history. You know, I started in reptiles back in 2003 when I was 15 working at a pet store. And it was here in our local mall. And, you know, we had this little reptile room. It wasn't probably but a 4x8 little deal with a glass wall and a door to walk in. And we sold probably 12 or 14 different species at a time, you know, green iguanas, boas, ball pythons, everything low end. And there were people that were coming in asking, you know, to buy animals, and the owner would never order them for them. Well, you know, me being the kid I was, I found the wholesale list, and I figured out, you know, that she didn't pay attention to everything, and I could get on there and order people's animals. So I was charging people what the wholesale price was, and then I was only making 20, 30 bucks at a time. And I did that for almost 2 years before she caught on and fired me because I was making more money off reptiles than she was.
Toosh.
And so I kind of just advanced from there and kind of, you know, went to some expos, went to some shows, and then we got into the exotic hoof stock side of it. When I was 19, I started going to those auctions, found out about those, and I was buying, you know, different small primates, wallabies, things like that, and trading them for other reptiles or selling them to people. And then through going to the auction down in Lampasas, Texas, the Kafari Exotic Animal Auction, I met the owner, Jurgen Schultz. And over time, things went on, and I would go down there and work the auction. Well, after a couple of years of doing that, I was in a situation to where he offered me a job, and I was able to move down there and be his ranch manager. And their family was the original exporters of animals from Africa, stocked the Berlin Zoo for Hitler. 80% of animals you see in the U.S. now are descendants of things that his grandfather caught in Africa back in the day.
What the hell?
Yeah, his
That's
great
badass.
grandfather discovered the pygmy hippo inside the house. There was pictures. I wish I would have did more when I was there. There was pictures of Model A's and Model T's with wooden crates with zebras, giraffes in them. And then there was pictures of crates getting loaded on ships with baby elephants in them. There's pictures of them with cheetahs with big old rhinestone collars when they first moved to New York, hanging out by the pool.
Oh shit, that's fucking wild.
Yeah, and I was his ranch manager for going on, you know, about a year. And through that, I got the opportunity to haul literally everything: monkeys, birds, hoof stock, all the way as small as, you know, little, I guess you call them muttjack deer, the little deer you see that are knee high, all the way up to we haul giraffes. And so after I left there, I went to Sharkarosa Wildlife Ranch up in Denton, or Pilot Point, really. And I was Scott Edwards' ranch manager there for a little bit. And that place was on dirty jobs and things like that. And so after I left there, I moved out here to West Texas and got with my wife, and we bought a trailer and we started hauling animals for zoos, parks, and ranches. Did that for a couple years. And then life events happened. Yeah. And then my kid's mom passed away. And they moved in with us full time, so we kind of sold off a bunch of our reptiles and stuff like that and focused more on the transport because it didn't require anything besides a truck and trailer. And through over time, you know, we acquired animals here and there, but now we've gotten it down to we do reticulated pythons. We only do the pied gene. That's it in retics. And a lot of people hate on the pied gene because everybody says, you know, all it does is make a white snake. What happened with ball pythons forever? Everybody bred inchy into it and spider, and what was happening? They were getting white snakes. There's a key to retic somewhere, but everybody's giving up too soon. I mean, we're going to have to combo pack these animals, but there's going to be something in there that leaves the pattern. And I mean, I'm hoping so because, I mean, we've invested a lot into it. And then we do berms, but I only do the hypos and the granites. And then we do ball pythons. But at any time, who knows what we're going to get. We had a wallaby in the house a while back that spent a couple weeks here before we sold him. We've had big cats that our kids have bottle raised, monkeys, all the way down. We've had baboons even that my wife bottle fed.
Oh shit, that's pretty cool, dude.
Yeah, and so my kids, you know, You can't take them on vacation because if you're like, oh, let's go to the zoo, and they walk around like, why are we here? This is boring.
For real though, that's what it's like walking around the reptiles in the zoo for us, man. It's just
Yeah,
like,
and there's no
cool.
interest to it. They bottle raise deer and everything like that to where they don't have any initiative to have any fun at any place like that because they walk around looking at it and they're like, we've had it, we've seen it, we've done it, and it's just like, well, enjoy it.
Yeah, fuck it, man. That's a hell of an experience to be a part of, man.
It's been cool. I mean, everybody, to have the opportunity to transport all kinds of things and go to zoos and see behind the scenes and meet a lot of people that you would never know that have the animals that they have. There's a lot of people privately that have saved so many species from extinction. And I mean, a lot of people hate hearing it, but hunting ranches are conservation through commercialization because without a value, nobody cares to save anything. If these animals were worth nothing tomorrow, you think anybody would breed ball pythons, geckos, anything? Everybody's like, oh, I do it because I love it. No, you're doing it because you're hoping you're going to get some money. Because if you did it because you loved it, you wouldn't post one picture of it. You want recognition, you want credit, you want everything for it. So, I mean, unfortunately, everything has to have a value to matter within any hobby of anything. And I mean, being in reptiles, being in the birds, being in the hoof stock side of it, everything has had a value. And we've watched markets go from nothing to sky high. I've watched Cape Buffalo go from $30,000 3 years ago to two females just brought $600,000 a piece at auction.
Whoa, hold on. How much they brought at auction?
$1.2 million for two Cape Buffalo cows.
God damn, where did that? Well, we fuck with some big numbers, bro, but we're not talking like little numbers to like, I'm going to invest and retire on this money. Where did that rise come from? What triggered that in the market to make them skyrocket like that?
Because people realize that you can tax deduct up to $1 million for 5 years on ranches in Texas. So you're allowed a $5 million tax break. So if you own a huge company, how do you shell it? Through taxes. So you invest all this money, you buy all this hoof stock. You have basic hoof stock. You have Axis, fallow, black buck, whitetail. That's considered your just regular. But then you have the supers, which are kudu, sable, impala, gazelle, bongo, Cape buffalo, which are your super high-end animals. Your giraffes used to be $35,000. Now male giraffes going to cost you $75,000-$80,000 within 2 years. The market's come up, some of them 400% and 500% on these animals.
Somewhere in the United States right now, Chuck is crying in a corner because you said that.
Yep.
Who's Chuck?
Chill Chondros.
Oh, bro, you didn't catch that episode with the giraffes, bro?
No, I think he came in late after that.
Missing out.
We didn't meet until DNT.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. So Chuck at Chill Chondros is obsessed with giraffes, bro. And if he comes back and watches this, you're gonna shatter his little heart.
I mean, the good part is about giraffes. Nobody's hunting them in Texas that I know of. They're cheaper to hunt in Africa, but I mean, and people think, oh, we went to Africa and shot this animal. These animals that are over there are farmed to be hunted. These animals are raised with one intention, like a chicken here in the U.S. that we eat. They're raising it to be hunted and bred. So at a certain point, the animal no longer has a genetic value because it's too old to breed. So what do? You harvest the weakest link. So people hunt them and kill them, and then you go on. I mean, it's conservation through commercialization is all it is on everything.
Okay, I see what you're saying, because potentially, right, like a retired breeder is going to end up getting euthanized one way or another through, dealing with commercial shit. Nobody really gives a damn about the life of the animal. So instead of letting people go out and kill wild animals, they're letting them kill animals that are fit for retirement.
Yeah, and it's not just going out and shooting these big, nice animals. It's an animal that usually 9 out of 10 times is old. Its horns aren't perfect because anybody knows that anything perfect is kept.
Yeah.
This is facts. Yeah.
So you take your best genetics, and it's what saved a lot of species. I mean, we saved the Simmental horned oryx here in Texas, but nobody gives Texas credit for hunting ranches doing it. At one point, they were extinct in their native range, and now there's several tens of thousands of them just here in Texas. Within a 30-mile radius here, I probably know of about 400 of them.
Damn.
on 3 different ranches out here.
No shit.
Yeah, so I mean, it opens up. I mean, you look at reptile speaking, because a lot of people. So what's a Bolin's python? How much is that thing?
Stupid money.
10 grand. But why is it 10 grand? Because it's
You
rare.
can't get your hands on. Yeah, because you can't get your hands on.
Just like a Cape Buffalo, it's rare. So anything that is rare has a value. But once everybody has it and breeds it, what happens? It drops everywhere.
That's true.
So, I mean, you think about it, it's crazy. But you drive down the road. I mean, Chris, you see it living down there by San Antonio. How many high fences are down there?
A shit ton.
Everywhere you drive. And so the exotic animal industry, the hoofstock market is the largest animal market in Texas, is the exotic hoofstock industry. It supersedes anything else. There's an auction down in Kerrville at the Wild Ranch. It's twice a year. They have the spring sale and the summer sale. And they probably do $2 million in one day on exotic hoofstock. That's the low side.
We in the wrong damn industry, bro.
And that's what people don't realize is people are like, oh, you mess with deer and you mess with this and that. No, I mess with retirement options. You're messing with penny stocks and I'm messing with retirement options.
So is that what you're doing now?
So we always, at any point, somebody will call us to transport it, broker it, anything. We get calls and texts all the time of new ranches wanting to acquire animals or old ranches wanting to get rid of animals or people wanting to swap genetics for genetics to where it goes back and forth.
So how do I get into this?
Yeah, I was going to say,
so
you hiring, buddy?
Man, it's the hardest market to get into is what's crazy.
No shit with the money you guys are dealing with.
Not because of the money, but because of how tight-knit it is that if some guy calls you and says, hey, I need you to haul 3 bongo cows. I think the market on them is 45,000 right now, so do the math on 5 of them.
Upset.
You're hauling $250,000 that somebody has to trust you with. Knock on wood, in all the years I've been doing it, I've never had one animal die. I've never had one animal injured that I've ever hauled.
Yeah, man, I don't know. That's a lot of stress hauling around that much money.
We had custom-built trailers that were completely blacked out. They had air conditioner heater units on them that were ran by generators to where they were fully self-contained to where you couldn't tell what was in them or anything unless I showed you.
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't want the GP knowing what the hell you're up to. Now, I'm curious, man. So what is Texas like a hot spot for this then?
So Texas is Africa. Look up Africa in pictures and look up Texas. Comparatively, you have the heat, you have the rough terrain, you have the climates, and the good part is anything from Africa comes to Texas. What is it susceptible to? Worms. It's not susceptible to any other disease and viruses here in the States, really, because it's non-native. Like our whitetail and stuff like that are native to the U.S. get diseases and get everything like that. African hoofstock's a lot hardier of an animal as far as Texas goes.
Okay. No, I feel that. Okay. Interesting.
And now they discovered you have long neck manor. You go stay in a giraffe barn that has an apartment upstairs. Why is it so cool? Because you open the window in the living room and Oak pops the giraffe's head in the morning so you can pet it.
Where's Chuck? He needs to hear this.
I'm about to message this man. Hold on.
Then you drive 20 minutes down the road to the Rhinory, where you sit down and pay $250 to drink a glass of wine 50 foot from a male white rhino.
Whoa. Hold on. Time out.
Wait, what is this place called?
The Rhinory in Fredericksburg.
I gotta go check this shit out.
Hold on. And then you have the preserve, which is 20 minutes away, and you can pet and paint with elephants. So it's conservation through commercialization, because what zoos don't tell you is that zoos don't do a lot for conservation.
Yeah, I already knew that, though. I talked to a lot of zookeepers.
Yeah, and you have all these hands-on facilities here in Texas that allow you to pet a giraffe, allow you to drink wine with a rhino, that allow you to go and paint with elephants. Then you have Shark Roasted Wildlife Ranch, where you can sit down and have pizza with bears, that sit at a picnic table in the evening 50 feet from you while you're eating your pizza, they're eating their food.
What the hell?
Yeah,
This has been here the whole time, Chris. You never heard about this?
Bro, I never heard about these places. I don't do anything. I just work, pod, and then the reptiles, bro.
and skip leg day.
Bro. That's fucking cool. So, okay, I definitely see what you're saying with the conservation through commercialization. Like, that makes sense. So, I guess now that you're opening up the door to this market, like, right, I'm sure like a lot of us are just like starstruck by this. Why aren't you guys facing the same kind of backlash that we do in reptiles? Or do you? Are you guys up against the same shit that we're dealing with? Like, there's a case in Florida right now where there's 20 some odd ball pythons dumped, and it's like, I smell FWC all over. It
So
smells like a fucking
let me
plant
expose
to me.
this. I'm gonna make a lot of people mad, and I don't care. Wild Things in Florida, Andrew Biddle. Y'all have heard of that place, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. They had a white rhino that they unloaded there that was supposedly small pen raised. He ran through the fence. He ran through the next fence. He was shot and killed there at that park because he wasn't contained.
Donnie and MJ covered this, yes.
But why? Because they rushed the process of moving the rhino. Because in Texas, anybody who houses a rhino, he is behind huge rocks and welded pipe. So it was put out there, but it wasn't put out there to run with it. Because anybody know, oh, it happened in Florida. But the only time they come after anybody in Texas really is you have all the hunting ranches they come after that. Oh, this is cruel. This is that. This is one or the other. But you have guys that are spending $5 million to buy a ranch. You have guys that are spending $5 million to fill that ranch with those animals. Then you have that guy that runs a $100 million company that has the money to hire the attorneys to get with the Exotic Wildlife Association to fight all these PR groups. They're always coming after exotic keepers of any, whether it's primates, birds, hoofstock. There's always somebody somewhere that says, you need to take them back to the wild and return them. What wild? The wild that we're destroying every day that no longer exists. So it's like, at what point do they realize that captivity is unfortunately the safest place for these animals? People don't want to hear it. They don't want to realize it. They don't want to listen.
You're right.
And there's a lot of people that rush the process of buying animals that get animals killed all the time.
No, absolutely, man. And that's a conversation that needs to be had, though. You know what I mean? Like, I talk to people about it all the time that are like, oh, well, if you take something out of the wild, you ruined its life. Not always. If done correctly, you're offering it a better life than it had in the wild, more cases than not. And again, it's like you said, a lot of these animals we need to start pulling out of the wild to protect them from going extinct because we don't know when enough is enough with development.
So the best example you can give on that is who is the most hated displayer of wild animals in the world? They're right there in your backyard, Chris. SeaWorld. So
Your audio's out, Chris.
So when you think about it,
Oh, I was gonna say Jay and prehistoric pets.
no, hell no. But when you think about it, you have marine life. You think anybody's ever cared about fish till SeaWorld displayed it?
What about the aquarium?
See, I mean, look at what SeaWorld does. You think nobody would care about dolphins? Nobody would care about orcas? Nobody would care about sharks? Nobody would care about all these fish? Because until you put them in front of somebody, nobody cares. Until you can see it, nobody wants to know about it.
And you're right, dude. And that's how it is.
That's
You're
why
absolutely
circuses
right.
did so good in the late 1800s, early 1900s, because everybody wanted to go and see the wild animals. Because you heard stories about it, but you never seen it. So how were you going to see it? You had to go see it yourself. That's the same thing with everything. And that's, unfortunately, social media is now the downfall of the reptile industry. And I don't care who I make mad.
And you're right, though.
Because when
Because
I first got into reptiles, you were in group chats. And then you would get the guy that took the crappy picture of a Polaroid that he would put into his scanner to upload the picture. and everybody'd be hyped about the new clutch, the new snake, whatever it was that was coming in or did come in or what got produced and uploaded off this shitty picture through somebody's scanner and put into this group chat on these forums. Now, I can take a picture of any of these snakes behind me and I'm going to have 200 people tell me about how they're an expert because what they read on Google. And it doesn't matter what animal it is.
No, that's facts, man. And I definitely,
That's
man,
great facts.
You're right. So I think social media is a downfall, motherfucker.
I'm
Nobody
eating a
cares
chicken
about-
leg because you said my chicken legs are little, so I got to eat chicken legs to make my legs grow.
I was just
Fucking
going to call
cannibalism.
That's what I was going to say. Cannibal over there, like gnawing on his own leg.
That's
He playing
fucked up.
Coyote Ugly. He playing Coyote Ugly with himself. Look at him. He gonna chew his own leg off to get away.
Oh my
man.
God.
Anyways, back on topic here. I agree with you though. I think social media is going to end up being the downfall, obviously more than reptiles. But I have this shadow that looms over my thought processes, right? Like as we want to grow the reptile industry, how many more problems we're going to continue to face by doing that through social media, through all the networking and whatnot. The bigger that we get, the more attention that we get. The more attention that we get, the more that the true issues are out on display. Shout out to MJ and talking about this is his biggest fear because he's got right. He's spot on with it. Imagine if Samson hit Netflix, right? Imagine if Netflix picked that up as a documentary. How the fuck are we going to look after that?
Okay, so here's how we do it. And I learned this through the big cat industry of owning big cats in the fall of Joe Exotic, them going after Doc Antle, everybody. So every time you see that story and you click it, what happens? You're reading it and you're sharing it.
Mm-hmm.
So until people get together at a show and they stand side by side and you tell somebody, hey, here's the facts on so-and-so, this is what happened, everybody's got to quit hitting share. Everybody's got to quit sending stuff all over the internet because anytime you post it on the internet, it's there for everyone to see. It's there for every PR group to reach for. It's there for everybody to twist, turn, and use against you. So the whole deal with Samson, I don't agree with any of it. I mean, he is an absolute piece of trash. Anybody who keeps animals to any point close to that deserves to be out of the hobby. But as far as everybody going in and attacking him in a forum, it got 6,000 people in a group. What did 6,000 people do? Absolutely nothing. But had all those people got together at their local shows, sat down with the person putting on the venue and said, hey, man, us as a group collectively decided we don't need Samson. And everybody did that at every show. Everybody contacted Darian. Like Darian took care of it, deleted him off Morph Market. There's no more Samson there. But as long as we're posting this stuff online for everyone to see, you're now giving them the apples on the tree to reach for, to make you go hungry. So everybody's got to quit sharing it. Everybody's got to quit being fucking negative-ass little crybabies and posting about their fucking feelings. Because if all they see is negative, all they're going to run with negative. If we don't start hyping everybody up, hey, Chris, cool, man. Glad you went to that show. Did you see anything cool? What was the cool thing you seen at San Antonio? Did you pick up anything new? Hell yeah, man. Send me some pictures of it. Shit like that needs to start happening again like it used to be.
It's called the spider trouser snake. That was awesome.
I mean, it's probably the smallest story and shortest story there, but hey, whatever.
Hey, it was nice.
Till it slipped through your fingers.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's stuff like that. People have got to quit sharing the negative because we're in a spotlight now that everybody's looking at us. So we need to turn that spotlight around into everything positive. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's positive, it needs to be shared. If it's negative, don't feed into it.
Yeah, but that's easier said than done, though.
And I mean, on the Samson subject, I mean, this is where the conversation gets interesting because we have to bring Samson away. The reason he's been getting away with what he's been getting away with for so long, no offense, is that exact mental and the flip mental of that's just how it is. Because people let it go for so long, it got so bad and so out of control. And the reason that it was just let go of is because there's so much nonsense drama. We need a separation between the bullshit drama
and the facts.
Like what we saw happen to Derek a couple weeks ago. That's bullshit drama. What that person did against FWC, fucking salute. That's also why I got so fucking mad. The dude was a godsend for not attacking FWC, but exposing them for the frauds that they are, but then turns around and bashes on somebody that made a great change to help better this community. That's the
Which does no
prime
good.
example of what we need to separate as bullshit. The FWC shit's great. Yes, help us expose them, and let's expose Samson and expose these shit keepers and keep that. We have to keep that on the mainstream. Otherwise, they're just going to continue to get away with it. It's the calling each other out and the negative, petty nonsense drama that makes absolutely no sense in this industry.
There's no need
oh, well,
for
so-and-so did this, or so-and-so said that, did this. All the petty back and forth shit like that, that's got to quit. So when we do bring Samson to light, people are like, oh, okay, this is for real. Like, this is game time. Let's put the gloves on. That's when we have the conversation at the expo. That's when we get Darian involved. That's when we, start to move forward as an industry against animal abuse. But in order for that to happen, we got to quit with the petty shit, bro. Chris said my ball python's stupid. I'm going to fucking make a 30-minute YouTube video about it.
I did.
And it does no good for the hobby as a whole. And that's the worst part is people need to separate the playground bullshit from the real facts of the story. He was a shit keeper. He kept animals in horrible conditions. He killed a fucking caracal. How's that happen? A caracal will almost eat itself to stay alive.
Yeah, I still have
somehow
questions on that, bro.
You kill them, so it's like post the pictures, send them to the venues, be done with it. Damn, I just had one of those baby super dorks grab a rat behind me. That's what I like to hear. And so it's like you have to move forward with those things. You can't. The more negative you give, the more negative is going to be used. Everybody needs to quit feeding into the BS and the feelings. Go back to the way it used to be of hyping each other up, getting excited for someone else's clutch. Who cares if they're going to beat you? Because if that clutch turns out like shit, be thankful it wasn't you. Be like, hey, man, good job. I'm glad you produced those. I was going to try for it, but, I didn't like the way yours turned out, so I'm going to go a different direction. Or, hey, man, I like yours the way yours turned out. You want to break it down for me? So maybe when I hatch mine, we can help identify them. Things like that you don't see it anymore.
Yeah, exactly, bro. And that's something that could be discussed too, right? It's like compromise and meeting in the middle of things and doing things a little bit different. It's not. It doesn't have to be a dog eat dog world. It doesn't have to be cutthroat and shitting all over the next person. And I don't know. I almost feel like this is one of those mute conversations like I was having in a group chat not too long ago, where it's like we continue to have the conversation, but nothing ever fucking changes.
Yeah, it has to be on somebody. Like somebody has to come out of there and be like, "Oh, well, let's do this." Like
who though, bro?
Bosa every day is always positive, and I try to be like right behind Bosa. We're positive, but then no matter what, all that negative still overrides the positive in this.
But that's because you allow it. You got to stop feeding into it. You got to stop clicking on it. Just as soon as you worry about you and the positive things coming from other people in your direction, the hobby will get a whole lot better. But as long as you're giving the people the attention they want off of the negative, it ain't ever going to get no better for anyone. And it's only going to get harder and harder to keep these animals.
Bro, I'm not going to lie. I went to the reptile expo expecting nothing. And today I got 2 reticks.
See, so I mean, there's the positive in it right there. I mean, what's the negative? I had to fight my way around a bunch of people and give Dax a hand job for 15% off to get 2 reticks. I mean, the positive.
I mean, maybe
Dax is leaving with a smile, and you got 2 snakes. So I mean,
well,
I'm not saying. I'm just saying there's rumors of a video coming out of Chris crawling out from underneath the table.
Hey, y'all better believe those rumors.
They only knew it was him because there was chicken legs sticking out from the bottom. He's not on Dax like he is that chicken right now.
God damn. You know what? Hold on.
Look, he's going to get out of it so he can eat in peace. But, I mean, what has to happen is everybody has to start hyping each other up. What's the guy's name that was just on with all the tree monitors?
Father Blue.
Oh, Father Blue.
So, I didn't know who that guy was, right? And after y'all's podcast, I went and followed it. I have never individually, as myself, felt like I was under keeping animals. But after seeing the way he keeps his monitors, it has made me want to build 4x8x4 enclosures for these retics, get planted deals with rock backgrounds from Universal Rocks. And even if they breed in it, cool. But I mean, damn, he made me question my own way of keeping things.
People like that
Fuck
do.
yeah, bro. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and I mean,
And that's what we need. And he's doing the damn thing. He's in Puerto Rico right now, right? Or
yeah.
what?
I mean, I seen the way he set up them monitors and did everything, and I told my wife, I was like, damn, we need to find like a new 20 by 40 building, and I want to deck it out with 4 by 8 by 4 enclosures at least, and do rock backgrounds and stuff like that for these retics and berms.
See, that's fire, bro.
And I mean, it just it's longevity, and if people see that, what's going to happen in the hobby? People are going to stay in it.
Mm-hmm.
Once you really show the true investment side of it, there it goes. So take the colubrid market. What happened when everybody had colubrids? Those things got dirt cheap. Who are the guys laughing at everybody right now? The colubrid guys, because look at what they're getting for their animals right now.
Yep.
I go to shows and I see somebody walk by with a black and white cow king for $150, and I'm like, dude, 2 years ago that was $15. Or on Sunday they'd give them to you 4 or 5 at a time, maybe more, just to get you to take them home because they didn't want to take them home and feed them.
No, that's facts. That's facts, yeah.
Those guys stuck it out. They stuck together. They kept doing what they were doing, flew under the radar in their own little worlds, and now look at them. They're making bank at reptile shows. When you can hatch a freaking corn snake clutch and make $2,000, it's like,
hey, they did that today. I'm not gonna lie, they did that today.
I watched a guy bring tessera corns out here to a local show, ask $150 a piece, sold 12 of them the first day.
That's
and
cheap though.
I was like, I am in the wrong market.
No, man. I mean, that's one of the pillars that I think we tend to neglect in this industry is like the colubrid market, the colubrid side of things, and how damn consistent they've been. Like, no matter what, colubrids have never gone away. Think about corn snakes, right? One of the OGs to help kick this shit off. Ball pythons wouldn't be where they're at.
Texas rat, wasn't it?
Yeah. No,
I think so. One of the first albinos in the U.S. bred, I think, was a Texas rat or a scaleless Texas rat.
It might have been. It was either the Texas rat. Yeah, the Texas rat and the berm were right around the same time, weren't they?
Yeah, but I think the Texas rat was like the first. And I mean, look at how old that colubrid is. And look, it's still bringing 35, 40 years later, still bringing over $100.
And it's remained consistent as a popular animal.
But how much drama do you see off the colubrid side?
None, really.
Not a lot, bro. They shut that shit down. They don't play that game.
But why aren't we all doing it like they do?
Facts. Okay. I see where you're going.
If we did it, where would our own market be? Where would these... if you can show people that adequate care, you can keep a 18-foot retic. Yes, I'm not saying it's meant for everyone because there are people that do not need them. But if you can set up an 8-foot by 3-foot by 2-foot cage long term to raise this animal in, who am I to tell you that you can't adequately care for this animal without telling you how dumb you are, how stupid you are? Oh, you're just going to kill it. You're not going to take proper care of it. You might be the next best keeper that changes the industry, but I just talked you out of it with pure negativity. For what?
No, that's facts, man. And I think it gets misconstrued again. Like, there has to be a separation between the two, because you see, it's hard as being involved in retics not to see the negativity in retics specifically. All the rest of the snakes, we can digress on that argument but with retics, man, the popularity, the amount that are bought, the size of the animal, the dangers of males in breeding season, the list goes on and on of the negatives that you see every single day, and why myself and a lot of people are pushing, like, I want retics to be more exclusive. I don't want them to be openly available. I want to see more, like, restrictions on them, basically, for a lack of better terms. Like, it sucks, like, almost like you need a permit to own these animals, because, again, the conversation that's not happening that a lot of these big breeders are scared of, go to your local reptile rescues. What do you see there? Ask them how long a male or a fucking adult retic lasted before it's either has to be euthanized because they can't take care of it, or it just never gets rehomed.
And that's where, as a whole, we need to get back to quality over quantity.
In order to do that, you got to start making certain things more exclusive, man. You got to make them harder to obtain. You got to make it less popular, less spread on social media. Like, think about All right, so like Madagascar giant hognose, right? Very, very sick animal. Very, very cool. What's the last time you heard somebody talk about it? But they're
And I
still
ain't heard about
popular
them
on the.
in
They're
years.
super popular in OG Kluger crowd. Super, super popular.
Just like
But you
tricolor
don't.
hogs.
Tricolors, yeah, that's another one. We could throw that in there where you don't see a lot of social media postings about them, but they're popular. The reason that is because they don't make their way to social media. The keepers, the breeders usually keep that shit pretty down low. And it's more of like an in-person buy, more of an in-person conversation. Like you picked it up from an expo. You're not going mainstream with it, but you're going to remain in that crowd and be able to sell your animals. I'd like to see the Retix take that route for many years to come, to let it calm down, to get that commonality of like anybody can do this out of the window. And again, somebody that's interested, you're going to find it. I can go find a giant Madagascar hognose.
Oh,
but
yeah,
it's not going to be as simple as posting on my Facebook or my IG and be like, yo, who's got this? Da, 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 da. You're going to have to talk to somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, and along the way, you're going to learn, and you're going to do it the right way.
And that's where
That's
we
really what
find
it
out
comes
with a
down to.
lot of high-end birds, hoof stock, things like that, too, primates.
Yeah,
We
because
see
you ain't
that.
going to fucking jump on a Facebook rehoming page to find
Hey.
a fucking primate.
No.
So check this out. Today at the expo, I went around and asked, the breeders
right back.
there at the expo, 2 questions. I asked them, what is the difference between a keeper and a breeder? You know what they said? They said that a keeper focuses on enclosures versus a breeder.
Focuses on numbers,
Mm-hmm.
which is unfortunate because, I mean, as keepers, we are breeders. If you have no intentions on breeding your animal, set it up the best possible way. Do a full-blown zoo-style enclosure. But if you're going to breed it, still give it a very adequate, roomy enclosure. But don't keep them bare minimum because it does nobody no good. It does nothing any good to keep anything bare minimum. And it's crazy to even say that because, so being in crocodiles, you see crocodiles bred overseas on concrete, lay eggs, do good. But you see crocodiles in full-blown natural setups here in the States that don't do anything. I mean, how many times do you see people post pictures of clutches of snakes that they're in these nasty, disgusting enclosures, but you see the guy with the same exact snakes that haven't bred for him in 5 years of trying. It's crazy how when animals want to be animals, they'll be animals, but as long as they're animals in our care, they deserve the best quality of care because they are our responsibility as keepers and owners to take care of them. You don't have a kid and give them the bare minimum. You do the same with your animals. You give them the best food, the cleanest water, the cleanest enclosures, the most amount of room. You have to. But when you don't, that's when all these PR groups and everybody start going after everybody. And the one that's the easiest to attack is the retics, the berms, the anacondas. Because Florida, chased the whole berm deal. Berms have been in Florida since the 60s. It hasn't been a secret. There's old pictures of berms in the Everglades back in the day. But through importers and exporters and stuff like that, of them escaping facilities in Florida and having 50 years, 60 years to breed, there's now berms everywhere in Florida. But what was the golden ticket to get big snakes put on a Lacey Act to where they couldn't do it? They ran with the berm because that was the most notable thing that could be spread around on any news platform for them to run with. So that's what they did. They went after the Florida berms, and then they started this whole deal about how they could all live all the way into Texas, all the way up into the Carolinas. How far have berms made it? They haven't made it out of Florida. And
Sure.
how long has the Lacey Act been since what? When did it go into effect? 2015, 2014? I think
Not
15.
2015. Had to be a little later after that.
I think it was 15. I don't know.
Think so?
Somebody will know. But you think so? Since the Lacey Act, it's supposed to do this and that. In 8 years, say 15. In 8 years, berms still haven't made it out of Florida. They're not going to make it out of Florida. There's nowhere pristine past the Keys for them to live. But what did they do? They created this mass hysteria of these monster snakes taking over the U.S. and killing your kids and eating your dogs that they were able to pass laws against people. But
So my second question was, what do you think about ball pythons and being oversaturated. They said, well, I'm not worried about ball pythons. And you want to know what they said? So they said they're not worried about ball pythons because ball pythons is always going to sell. He said, check it out. I sold 6 ball pythons and I only sold 1 retic. He's all anything. If anything goes first, it's going to be the retics.
And unfortunately, it will be because we allow it. Because we've shared so much negativity about it. When everybody fed into Samson's ordeal and posted and shared it, you gave every news outlet the opportunity to grab that golden key and run through that door after us.
We did, but I mean, again, it's like we're playing with a double-edged sword, though, right? Do we continue to let it happen to where this guy he basically he still today has like a cult running, bro. It's literally like a cult. These people worship the ground he walks on. And do you want him in the industry to continue to do what he does, or do we finally do what we did and blow the lid off of this thing and roll the dice that Netflix does pick this dude up? I mean, you turn around, Roku just picked up fucking Prehistoric Death. I mean, granted, he's not exactly Samson, but he's also not far off from it.
No, and so the deal is with Samson, though, that's when you take all the facts, eliminate the drama and bullshit. You take them facts to whatever state authorities you have, you send them in. You get all the fish and game people, you show them to them. You go to every animal activist rights person out there and you give them that, because anybody knows animal activists will run 100 miles to go after you on money that isn't theirs, and they'll fight you till the end of it because that money's coming in every day. So you give those people the ammunition they need to go after someone like that, they're gonna financially drain Samson to where his head is so far underwater, all we see is his ass as he goes down.
Yeah, and I get that, but that's also I'm more worried about animal rights activists coming at this industry than I am the government. The government's fightable, but anything that PETA's up against, they're not the government. Like, you're fighting another private entity, and it gets nasty, and it gets nasty quickly.
And I've seen it firsthand with big cats through PETA because I was friends with Joe. I was friends with Tim. I knew all those guys. I knew Jeff, unfortunately. James Garrison tried to set me up to get him to selling fucking lemurs and take them to Oklahoma, but I didn't because it was illegal, and I told him that.
Damn.
And yeah, so, I mean, there's a lot of backstory that I've seen through a lot of that when PETA gets involved and PR groups of animal activists get involved, yeah, they can take down an entire industry. But if you can give them one person to stay, I guess you could say, distracted on, they'll forget about everybody else for now. And unfortunately, Samson is the guy that needs out. And when is Samson going to go out? When the highest authority that he cannot fight comes after him. Because we all know, you don't win against PETA. They will exert every ounce of anything you have financially and mentally until they win. And so that's the golden ticket that would have got him out of the industry, was going and taking facts and giving them to people putting on expos and doing shows and everything like that, because that's what would have worked. But creating a Facebook group, giving 6,000 people access to see these things, you've now allowed not just yourself, but everybody commenting on that post that says they have a retic. You have now given them a Rolodex of keepers to now target. Because they didn't know who had what until you got on there and commented that you had it or you bought it.
Yeah, but I mean, you could say the same about any retic group. You know what I mean? Like, I could jump on the whatever retic group on Facebook, ruse myself as a retic keeper, make a fake profile, jump in there, and I have a Rolodex right there. Like, if they really wanted to play that game, I don't think they're coming at that Facebook group. I don't think they're...
It wasn't the negativity of Samson, though. You had all these people so mad, ready to throw any and everybody under the bus. Not just Samson, but anybody who had ever done business with Samson. They were ready to throw under the bus. You, Retic Nation, get in there. You're not going to find that. I mean, you're going to find people that disagree with people, but you're not going to find 6,000 people ready to kick somebody under the bus. And that's where it starts is, so Samson's the guy we're going after. Samson's the guy that started the tree. What's the branches of the tree? X, Y, and Z bought snakes from him. Okay, who do they know who bought snakes? So by the time it's over, they have a whole deal of people that they have now built cases against to go after. All because of a Facebook group.
No, that's facts. No, I completely understand where you're coming from. And man, it's a stick situation, man. Again, it's a lot of what we do in this industry. We play with a double-edged sword. You know what I mean? Like with the social media overall, it's like I've said earlier at the very beginning of this. It's great that we're growing the industry, but the bigger that we grow, the more attention that we got, the more eyes that we have on us, and every mistake that we make is now on a bigger platform. It's for more people to see. Or do we keep it more exclusive, like it was back in the early 2000s? Like these old heads didn't not intentionally grow this thing. Like they kept it to the expos, they kept it to King Snake in these very locked down areas. And I've talked to some of them off of the camera, and it's like they wanted it that way. They wanted to keep it under control because the bigger something gets, the more light that it has shined on it, the more issues that they face against the government, private groups like PETA, things along those lines. Like we saw what happened to the big cat industry. Up until that came out, I didn't even realize they had a fucking industry.
Huge industry.
Yeah, come to find out, the thing's huge, and there were a lot more eyes on it than I would have ever guessed.
Yeah,
like the monkey industry.
Huge right now. So the biggest industry right now is smuggling. You see spider monkeys all over TikTok. I don't care who you are, you're seeing them. Me being in it, a legal USDA licensed breeder selling a spider monkey, a male is $15,500. A female is $8,000 or $18,000. These are from licensed legal breeders. But you have people smuggling them in from Mexico. So it's now dropped the market. You can get a spider monkey for $6,500 for a male, $8,500 for a female. They just busted somebody on the border of Texas with 9 spider monkeys in a backpack. Yes. And all these spider monkeys you're seeing floating around everywhere. Here's where everybody's stupid. They come from one area where they're collecting all these spider monkeys. Nobody tells you how they get these spider monkeys. They shoot the mom out of the tree, kill her. They pull the baby off, leave the mom there on the ground, shove the baby in a backpack. They then bring these babies to the U.S. and they sell them on TikTok and social media platforms.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, so all these
What
monkeys, if somebody has one, yeah. And this is where I get fired up because I know the backstory of all this shady shit that people do. And Texas Parks and Wildlife and every U.S. Fish and Game is aware of it now that all these spider monkeys are coming from one area. So now they're starting to run DNA samples against all these monkeys to track down who's got what where.
Damn.
And just like they did the case with Joe, they spent 5 years building that case. You don't think they're going to let you keep your pet monkey and invest everything you have into it and then bring you all in as a group? You're crazy because it's going to happen. And it's unfortunate that it's happening at an animal's expense because give it 3 years, 4 years, I guarantee you spider monkeys, capuchins, and squirrel monkeys are going to be on a list to be banned because everybody's smuggling them in.
Especially the way that they're doing it too. Like that's fucked up.
And I mean it's cruel. They go out and unfortunately kill the mom to get the baby. And she falls 30, 40, 50 feet out of a tree onto the ground, and then they yank the baby off and cram him in a backpack.
That's crazy. So how the baby don't die if it falls all the way down like that?
Because the mom 9 out of 10 times will roll herself to keep the baby on in front of her to keep it from hitting the ground.
Oh, that's fucked, man.
Yeah.
That just makes my heart break right now.
And there's a whole lot about the animal industry that people don't know. I can tell you how they used to get baby elephants, rhinos, hippos, same way. They would kill the moms to catch the babies. No mom is going to let you take her baby.
So what is the humane way of importing these animals in?
The humane way is don't import them unless you need new genetics to keep a species going. Because zoos are facing now, what's happening at zoos, less and less animals are on display and more of the same animals are there. As far as species, you'll see 4 families of lions, but you'll see less bears. Why? Because they haven't brought in any new sun bear genetics in how long? So all the sun bears in the U.S. are dying. You need to start.
Aren't they in danger?
Yeah, and so you need to go to these places that prolifically breed them, bring in a couple, spread them around the U.S. to get new blood in. Primates and stuff like that, unless there is a true genetic reason to bring them in, leave them alone or don't allow it unless it's through some sort of licensed USDA licensed facility. Same thing with reptiles. Why are we still importing uromastics? Why are we still importing ball pythons, savanna monitors? Why are we still allowing mass amounts of animals to be imported just to die? For what? To fuel an industry that people are still putting money into instead of making them put money into proper care of true captive-born animals?
Yeah, no, that's facts, man. I've been wondering that myself. Is with some of the more popular animals. I mean, I get that we need new blood to come in, but you know, it's I guess it's a part of growing pains in the industry, you know, and imports are cheaper. And again, it all boils down to money at the end of the day. That's really what it is. It's cheaper to get an import ball python than it is to pay for the captive breed. Like,
but do the math. Is it cheaper when 4 or 5 of them die before you finally get ones that eat, or is it good to go to that breeder and buy that one?
And it would that's the conversation that we need to bring to the mainstream, though, is that even import ball pythons are more difficult to work with than the captive bred are. You have to be a special kind of crazy to work imports.
But that's any import, though.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what it is. I mean, hoofstock, birds, anything imported, unless there's a true genetic value to that animal being imported, it doesn't need to happen. Venomous. Why are we still bringing in mass amounts of venomous gaboon vipers, rhino vipers, cobras? For what?
So they can attack us in our sleep.
I mean, there's no conservation value or genetic value to flooding the market with these animals. As soon as we stop allowing it, our captive animals will increase in value. And that's what happened on the exotic hoofstock side, is you can no longer import a bunch of this stuff. So what was here in the U.S. is all that was here. Same thing. I mean, look at there's certain reptile species that you can't import anymore. I mean, look at how much a shingleback skink is. Those things haven't been legally done in forever.
Yeah, you can't import mainlands anymore. You can't fucking import super dwarf. You can't import anything retic. Because what was the reason behind that again? Back in, what was it, 2000?
The Lacey Act.
15, right? Yeah, the original Lacey Act.
2015.
Wasn't it we had to make a sacrifice, right? We had to sacrifice the big snakes to keep everything else safe.
Yeah, and so we can't knock them. There might be some drama in the super dwarf world. There's drama in any world. We can't knock the super dwarf guys. Behind the door, what were they doing? They were bringing in everything they could and keeping every locality that they could separate. Who are they? What are they doing now? The super dwarf market supersedes anything, and the demand is higher than the supply.
This is facts.
That's what needs to happen with everything. Ball pythons. I don't knock anybody who breeds ball pythons. I have a 9-year-old daughter who does it, so it's not hard. Good job. You're 40 years old and you're breeding ball pythons. High five. But do you need to slow down and focus more on certain projects? Yeah, because there is absolutely no reason to breed 500 snakes a year. If you have to discount your snake by the end of the year to get rid of it, that tells you right there there's not the market demand there for that animal.
Or, be prepared to sit on the animal until it's desirable. Because that's a conversation I think we've yet to have, and I really wish MJ was still in here because we kind of got into it about this. But that's a topic of the discussion I haven't brought in, is be prepared to sit on the animal until it's desirable. Because I know there are breeders out there that are prepared, that wait. Think about the way that like Canova talks about things and things explode, or he works a project and all of a sudden on the market. Exactly. Everyone follows his word, which there's nothing wrong with it. Like when he mentioned Sentinel paint and did a project with it, that shit fucking exploded. I know people that had adult breeders that they were looking to move, and they moved the next day, if not 12 hours sooner, from Canova mentioning something. Just be prepared to have these ups and downs. Like there's so much that goes into this that people don't account for. They don't have the conversations like, hey, this isn't easy. This isn't like a get rich quick scheme like it may seem on YouTube. Like those breeders aren't talking to you about the struggles that they've been through. The ups, the downs, the sitting on animals, the almost going broke, the comeback, the come ups, the go back down, the comebacks, the come ups, everything that goes into it. Like we need to start having more in-depth conversations with people.
And the best example of that through retics is who? Shane of SC Constrictors. What did he do with the Sunfire? The dude proved that you could take an animal and you could make quality over quantity to where, I mean, I'm not ever going to deny that I bought animals from him. And were they some of the best looking Sunfires I ever owned and through some of the best babies that I've ever seen produced? Absolutely. But he stuck it out through the ups and downs. He held his prices and he proved his worth with his animals to where now he's on a whole nother level with his Sunfire projects.
Exactly. And he only chose one. You know what I mean? Well, he's got other projects going, but that's his bread and butter. That's his fire.
And when I got into retics, you had Nerd, you had Jay, you had Gavin, you had Bob Clark. Nobody, I mean, Jay's kind of fallen off the rocker. I have nothing good or bad to say about him because everybody knows where everybody stands with Jay. He took the social media of the shock and awe, and that's how he gets views and makes money now. Unfortunately, he took that route. You look at Bob. You have Bob Clark. I mean, people want to hate on Bob, but people got to sit back and realize at the end of the day, why are we in this hobby? Because of who? Bob brought in a lot of stuff that allowed us to be where we are now.
With all due respect, let me stop you right there. Because no offense to you, and this is not a personal attack on you, but I'm so tired of hearing that, bro. Just because you did great doesn't mean you get away with murder now. That's not how the world works, and that's not how the industry should work. With some of the shit that he has done, he needs to own up to it and make it right. Because he is that legend. Because you did all this. It's not a get out of
community. We don't publicly bash him, but we go to him with it and be like, "Hey, when are you going to own up to it? When are you going to admit you did it?"
That chick from Arizona, he shit all over. They came back with a positive meadow test. Somebody explain that to me. Once somebody can justify why that happened, because I've talked to her in person, in the way that shit went down, and shit went down with her, then we can have a conversation about Bob Clark. Like, it's great. He did all these great things, but until he starts to justify some of the fucked up things he's done to people, and that one I know of personally, and again, like I did with the person that's beefing with Donnie, again, I don't care for the beef anymore, but don't fuck with my Arizona people. Like, that is the number one way to get underneath my skin. And again, I ain't got nothing bad to say about Bob, but I definitely have a negative view of him from the way that transaction transpired and everything that followed. As this OG legend that's built this incredible industry, why would you do something like that? Like, are you that, and that's where the conversation comes in. Are you that far out of grasp? Like, what is it? Like, where did it happen? Why did it happen? And are you going to be the person that steps up and be like, hey, you know what? This is where we cut it. I got too involved in the money, or I got to a point where I lost control and I have somebody else in control, and we need to watch this for the future. There's definitely a lesson to be learned, but people got to start talking about it. They can't just brush it under the rug and let these stupid things happen.
No, and I'm not saying discredit the things that have happened. I mean, it's unfortunate that through every industry, there's been somebody that had some sort of thing happen in a facility when you're the size of what Bob was.
Yeah, for sure.
But
like,
as somebody
he's not Jay, so I'll give him.
Yeah, and I mean, if the virus came from him, okay, you could have pulled that entire litter of boas and said, let me run tests against what I have, and if none of these have it, I don't know where yours got it, but let's figure it out together. It could have happened. I mean, now you have Nerd that has Donnie, who you want to pick apart everything of anybody doing anything online with Donnie for what? Yeah, you might have a shit ton of followers, but you got to realize these guys that Chandler, Tyler, those are the guys being watched that unfortunately people are getting hooked on, and they're now buying into these markets that we're producing animals for. You don't drive a Ford and go out and tell everybody Ford fucking sucks. Don't own one.
I do.
But that's what they want to do. So it's like, at what point do you do anything? Gavin. So, man, I want to say Gavin is probably one of the nicest guys. In your face exotics, I think is what it is.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I had a breaker go out in my building, I want to say 10 years ago. No, it was longer than that, probably 12 years ago. Killed all my collection. I posted about it on the retic forum, everything. Gavin sent me a message and said, hey, what's your address? And I sent it to him. I said, why? He said, are you going to be home in a couple of days? He said a day. And I was like, yeah, I should be. He said, okay. That was the end of that conversation. That day, I was like, man, I'm going to hang out at the house. I hung out. I got a box. It was a purple tiger, a Lav Super Tiger, and a tiger that Gavin sent me. Wouldn't let me pay him. Wouldn't let me cover shipping. Wouldn't let me do anything. But he did it because I'd invested money in an industry that he was feeding. And it kept me in reticulated pythons this entire time. And last year, or no, it was February this year at NARBC, I finally got to see him after 12 years and tell him thank you. But it's people like that keep the positivity going, that keep an industry alive.
Yeah, no, and respect to him for doing that, man. That's incredible. And we need to hear more of that.
And he's one of the OGs to it. And then when I got into it, you had Shane, you had Paul Lucas, you had Mark, you had Chris at Vital, you had Jake Klotz. I mean, you had guys that are still in it now. Jake's JK. He just produced that Orange Glow Sunfire stuff, Orange Glow Sunfire Anthrax stuff with Gavin and them. Super awesome.
Yeah, he's guesting Fascinate Tuesdays.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's a super cool dude, and hopefully I get to meet that dude in March at Tinley when we go up there. And so, I mean, it's those. Hey,
you're picking me up for that, right?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I ain't never made a wrong turn in my life.
Oh, damn. All right.
I'll meet you at the gym only if you're hitting legs, so I know you ain't going. But it's those guys, that who have eliminated the drama and stuck with the industry and shown positivity through years of keeping, 10, 12, 15 years of owning these animals, that there's been moments, that they've commented things, but they always go back and retract what they said and explain what they say. They don't just leave it. But we need to be more like those guys that have kept this industry going and kept this hobby growing through producing quality animals, through positive conversations.
That sounded like Jackson Taylor. So check it out. I used to hang out with some people at the expos, right? So I went to try to hang out with them again today, right? And it seemed like I was an ugly-headed stepchild. Like, hey, what are you doing here again? But when I go hang out with Jackson Taylor, it's like, oh, you're good here. Like, we love you. It's family. It's different, bro. Like, why do people switch up on you like that?
And that's the people we need. I mean, Dax and Taylor are great.
Dude, I love Dax and Taylor.
And so, I mean, Amanda and Gavin, great people. So, Brian and Kathy, Reptile Revival, super great people in the Super Dorks. You will not meet nicer people. And I'm not saying this because now we sell their animals. From the conversations that we had in ARBC, I had with Brian and my wife had with Kathy, you would not meet any people nicer that would never share anything negative, no matter how bad any situation got. They would still find the positive in it. And it's people like that this hobby needs to model themselves after.
No, exactly. I agree. No, we can definitely do things that way. And again, with some of the names that you mentioned prior, like again with Bob, like it just makes certain situations right. And I definitely want to have a beef with these people. You know what I mean? Jay, obviously, you've watched the podcast. You know how much I hate that man. It's because he's ruining our industry.
Jay is doing is California to buy anything else we're talking. I won't ever deny that I spent money with Jay. I won't. I bought into.
I would have back in the day too, before he became the monster that he is. But what he is doing now, again, just because you did great things for the industry doesn't give you a get out of jail free card. That's my mental behind Jay too. You are hurting this industry, man. I can't tell you, Michael, the amount of people that I have to talk to and battle to change their view on snakes because they saw that asshole on YouTube or Facebook or fucking Instagram. And it's ridiculous. That's why FWC hates us as shit like that.
Cats with Joe. I mean, we experienced it firsthand, probably worse than a majority of people in owning big cats. That when all that stuff happened with Joe, I mean, when it went down, it went down hard. We had people reaching out to us, wanting stories, wanting me to give interviews and stuff. But for what? To feed into something that didn't need to be fed into. They had the evidence they needed. They had what they wanted. They did what they did. I'm not going to feed into it with negativity or anything. Joe gets out of prison tomorrow. I'll walk up and if Joe needs a ride, I'll give him a ride. One of the nicest dudes that never screwed me over, never hit on me. The dude might be gay, but whatever. He didn't try to get into bed with me, so I don't give a shit. The dude never sold me one sick animal, never gave me one dying animal, and didn't give me an animal without paperwork. So I have nothing bad to say about him.
That person that's coming on NJ's live, we have him next month.
Jake?
JK?
Yeah.
Did you like Jake? Yeah. I've had conversations with him for 12 years over Facebook. Nicest dude that will even if you don't buy the animal from him, he'll answer a question for you about that animal.
See, that's badass though when you can go to somebody and just ask them a question, and have a conversation, and then
And
you
that
grow like a relationship with that person like that.
and that's how it should be. And I mean, that's where everybody, because we could all three sit here and bash everybody we know. I could tell you every horror story in every side of the exotic animal industry and run it for a lot of
I,
people.
I'll
But
bash the
for
troll
what?
next to me.
But it does
Bring
nothing
it,
good
bitch.
for anybody. I mean, we could roast Levi's receding hairline, but I'm not gonna.
Wrestle?
I know you
What?
ain't
Wrestle
talking to me
what?
about it. Take your hat off. Let me see what your
Me?
hairline look like. Yeah,
Oh,
your hairline receding too, bro. Who you talking to
Where?
about receding
Take
hairline?
yours off. Let's see.
Bro, I'm bald. There ain't no hairline to recede.
I'd have shaved it too if everybody pulled up in my cul-de-sac.
oh my god.
Me and Chris put our heads together. It looks like a nutsack.
I mean, whatever. If that's where you want to take it, rub one out with each other.
We do on
Bro.
Fortnite, buddy.
Him and Dax got that all lined out, bro. It's all right. I'm
Yeah,
good.
we don't want to steal Dax's boo. He's the only guy I know that has to put a shirt on wet to let it dry to him so it fits tighter.
He did say that today, which is funny.
Dude, I give him shit about it all the time. But everybody, so I'm gonna say it on here. I have a present for Dax at NARBC that's gonna be the absolute best gift that anybody could ever give somebody. But when it's done, I'll send y'all to the picture of it first, but don't show anybody because
Oh,
I'm gonna
Giving
show it
him
definitely.
live
chlamydia,
when I
or
give it to him. Huh?
said you giving him the clap, or
Nah. This it's gonna top all things of anything.
but hey, real quick, shout out to Mike over at Herb Collectors. Shout out to him and MJ together because they both have equally brought on a lot of the Arizona names. I appreciate y'all for that. But that interview you did with Joel with State 48 was fucking killer, bro. What a great interview. Good job, Mike. Round of applause for putting my Arizona people on.
Mike is
Dude,
always doing awesome things. Follow
so
that
you
guy.
go, no, you go after retics. Talk about MJ. What did MJ do with his retics? He got rid of them because he felt like he couldn't adequately care for them. He didn't hide it. He owned
He
up
made
to
an
it and told everybody.
educated decision, bro. Like he
Yeah,
knew.
and he'll straight tell anybody. I didn't feel like I could take care of them right. I didn't like the way they were being cared for and kept, so I got rid of them. You can't knock a guy who's honest.
Yeah, facts. And I mean it. Yeah, there's a lesson to be learned in everything. You know what I mean? If you jump into something, and here's the biggest takeaway: though. What separates MJ from all the other retic keepers that just up and let go of the project? Yo, what up, Wiz?
What's up, Wiz?
Is how he did it. Because a lot of these people that get into these projects, whether it be retics, ball pythons, colubrids, whatever you're getting into, but the top of that important list is retics because of how they're kept, the importance behind how they're kept, the dangerous situations that you can be in with these animals if you're not doing things correctly. MJ made sure each and every retic went to a responsible keeper.
Yeah,
And
he
that's
did it
how
the right way.
Yeah, he did everything the right way, and that's the part that needs to be built off of. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you get into retics, you end up not liking the projects or they're too much. Rehome the animals, just do it the right way. And again,
he
it's
owned
about
up to
sitting
it.
on them. Yeah, and it's about
He didn't
sitting on
hide
the
it.
animals. He sat on one for I can't remember what the timeline was, but it was a while that he had sat on one, but he was prepared to adequately take care of that animal until he found it a proper home. A lot of the situations that you see, it's a little tiny retic that's in a substantial or a suitable enclosure for that time. But by the time you rehome that animal, it could be 2, 3, 4 times the size of it. If you're doing it the right way, you got to be prepared. That's a takeaway
And that's
that
an
I find the
example to
most
learn
important.
from.
Exactly.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but
but
it takes
had he
it
just
takes.
dumped the animals, it would have been. Oh, had he just dumped the animals or went to a show and gave them away or this or that, it would have been shared all over. But because it was positively done, only the people that really know. But that's the things that we need to tell people. Hey, if you can't take care of your animals correctly, get with MJ, dude. He'll tell you how he did it.
Exactly.
Facts.
That's facts. And do it
Not
the
dump
right
them at low prices and somebody will snatch them up for nothing. That's not how you do it.
Yeah, because then they end up in a shit situation like go down to your local reptile expo. Let me know, or reptile rescue and let me know what you see.
Yeah,
It's not a pretty picture. Our buddy Jesse over at Baby Jess's Reptile World paints a very vivid picture of what the rescues look like right now, and it's
well, you're out there you're in Arizona where Phoenix Herp Society is. Look, that place is built off dumped animals.
it
Look
is,
how many
man. And
sulcatas
shout out to
that
them
place
for doing
has.
God's work, man. But
They
if it
probably
wasn't
got
for
more
them,
sulcatas than Africa now.
they do, bro. And that's again, no offense to you, Chris, but people that own sulcatas at this point, and I can't
We
stop
have
fucking
two.
breeding them.
And I'll admit,
I'm
we
not
have
breeding
two.
mine. I just want to ride mine. At least when
I
I'm
would
like
wanna
90
do
years old, tiny, just sit on the chill.
anything with mine. It's the greatest thing ever to have in a household with kids, though, because you can take all the fruits and vegetables and dump them outside, and there's no waste.
See, there you
See,
go.
dude, I miss my feeder rats for that, bro. Like breeding
And
rats.
that's the greatest part about our sulcatas is they eat a mixed diet of everything here, and we have two.
Yeah, I have two.
Yeah, and I have no intention of ever breeding them. If they somehow ended up to the point that they got big enough to lay eggs, I'm not going to be the first person to lie. I would put them in the freezer and I would dispose of them. There is no need for sulcatas in a market anymore.
There's not,
You're
bro.
right.
There's not. There's so many in rescues and overpacked. Like, go rescue one if you want one.
Yeah, Everglades Outpost in Florida, last time I was there, they had hundreds of redfoots, yellowfoots, and sulcatas.
See, that I don't understand. Why the fuck did Redfoot getting rehomed like that, man? That is such a manageable sized tortoise, such a
There's
beautiful
so
tortoise.
many in Florida that people just dump. Because
It's just
everybody
shit.
buys this cute little tortoise and then they put it in their yard and all of a sudden it's digging a hole in their lavish green backyard in Florida and they want it gone.
Oh, that's
Well, then
facts.
why,
Yeah, okay.
then why get a turtle?
That's exactly it. And that's where, as a whole, as a hobby, as an industry of not just staying separate because you have ball pythons, I have retics, we're all in the same industry. We're the reptile industry, all have to come together to do better management as a whole and police ourselves better before we have a jurisdiction of people policing us that know nothing about what we're doing and how to do it.
Exactly. Isn't that terrifying to know that somebody that has no clue what the hell they're talking about or doing could come in here and just ruin this whole fucking thing?
Dude, I have
Yeah,
faced
but-
that with all kinds of people wanting to tell me about animal laws and this and that. I work for state agencies, and by the end of it, I'm having to educate them on it because they had no idea on their own laws.
Well, at least you're educating them. They need it.
But I mean, they'll stand there and they'll argue with you like they're right for 30 minutes before finally you just want to be like, listen, retard. I pay taxes. So you work for me, so let daddy teach you.
That's facts. That's facts.
So it's just,
like, damn.
it's
See?
unfortunate. But that's where we have to be as a whole. I mean, we got to do better. And I mean, y'all guys are some of the best ones to do it. Anybody who's on social media that has a following is the guys that need to be sharing it.
Yeah, exactly. That's,
Bro, we preach it. We share it.
Don't talk about no negative and only move forward with the positive.
And that's hard, though. That really is hard. Because the
It
negative is
hard.
always popping up. Like I said, it's always popping up.
But I mean, we got to let it go. Just like I'm going to let your legs go before your body does.
Oh my God, you really went there, bro? Oh my God.
Each of his legs are about to start singing a Frozen song.
Oh,
let it go.
I mean, you said it. But I mean, that's where we have to be as a whole. We can't sit here and bash each other and go to an expo, and lean up against somebody and talk about how you hate so-and-so vending over there. Man, hope you have a good show. Hope you kill it. If you don't, it's probably your own fault. Your people's skills suck. Your animals are overproduced. Your quality's not there. There's a million factors that go into why somebody doesn't do good at a reptile show.
And you're right.
And it falls back on them. And that's when you have to start looking at yourself as a vendor that I had two people on each side of me this weekend. They both sold 30 animals. I sold 3. What are they doing different? Oh, their displays are better. Their educational talks are better. Their other deal, I mean, anything. Their down the road husbandry is better. What's that say?
Michael,
don't
don't make him start eating chicken legs on the live again.
Man, that dude wasn't eating. He was making out the way he's rolling his mouth around it.
Hey, I can't say that on live right now. There's kids watching. But
I mean, that's where you have to look at yourself of, do I need to step up my displays? Do I need to step up the way I talk to people and educate people on these animals? do I need to make people feel more comfortable with this species that I'm trying to sell to where maybe they are interested in it, but they just don't know about it. But because I'm feeding into the negativity and letting everybody here talk about it instead of showing them the positive. And that's where having the wife that I do, she's shown a lot of people that through owning retics that they're not these vicious monsters that everybody thinks they are. She has her pie project that she raises. She gets them out at shows. She lets people hold them. She educates people that if you are in a capable situation to own a retic, this is how you do it. If you're not, cool. Here's a ball python that we breed. But if you
So
are
check it out,
capable,
Mike. You know how you said the industry needs to come together and be like, lift each other up?
yeah.
Well, how about if you go like talk to certain people in the industry and they're, divide themselves from the industry? Like, well, our community doesn't do this. But I'm like,
And that's when you gotta hope they got enough buckets on board to bail themselves out when their ship's going down.
okay.
Because if
So
you walk, so if say me and Levi are at a show, right? You walk up to Levi, he gives you the best impression of the animals, represents them the best way possible at that show, and he's got table displays that are lit up, nice, clean, wiped out. But you walk up to me and I got a table with no cloth, no nothing. They're in deli cups on paper towels, and you look at them and say, "What's the price?" And I tell you, it's right there on top. Who's representing the hobby better from first impressions?
you
No, full quit being dumb. It's
only
Levi.
because I don't like Levi.
But I mean,
Fuck
it's
you, bitch.
Levi. It's
It's
Levi.
Levi. Yeah, it's
And
Levi.
that's where it has to start is you are the first impression for a lot of these people getting into this hobby when you go to a show, when you post a picture, when you post a review, when you comment on someone's shit. You have to be the best representation of your hobby at any point.
This is facts.
And that's where we
So
have to stop going to shows and talking. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's people I hate. I'll meet anybody in the parking lot. I am not scared. But I'm not going to announce it at a show. But if you want to settle something, let's settle it somewhere else because I'm not going to hurt myself or my industry that I'm in through irresponsibility and childish actions. I'll do it somewhere else where it's not going to affect what I'm doing. And that's the way it should be, is we have to talk about, even if you don't like the guy and someone's interested in something, send them to that guy because they're going to remember you for pointing them to him. And who do you think they're going to come back next to with a question or want to buy an animal? It's going to be you.
and that's exactly what Emilio does too, though. Emilio does everything you're saying right now.
I send people to other vendors all the time. I'm like, hey, man, I don't have that, but this guy produces it. This guy has it. This lady might have it. Go talk to them. Here's my card. Follow us. Watch out for what we produce. Come to the next show and maybe I'll have it. And we get so many repeat people that if you're a repeat customer, of course I'm going to give you a deal. If you're a first-time customer buying your first reptile, I'm going to give you a deal. I'm not going to give you a huge deal, but I'm going to give it to you to where you feel like you're being treated right, you're being treated fair, to where you invest in this hobby that you propagate a future in for all of us.
Yeah, exactly. Agreed. 100%, man.
So I did that today too. So like, I know a bunch of like good like leopard gecko breeder, and and then of course Dax and Tay. This person bought a retic today. It was a 700, like it was $700, but it was an albino. And Dax had a prettier one over there on his table. I was like, why don't you go hit up DNT retics? Like, go check out their stuff too. Like, I was like, you probably could have got that like a better deal because Dax was doing deals today and they were just selling. So I would send people like to their tables or like, go check them out. Go check them out.
And I hated doing that. I'm not going to lie. My wife talked to these people. They were from England, just moved to the States, were wanting to get into reptiles. I had 4 kids. She spent 2 hours talking to these people about the snakes that we had and everything like that. Well, the people are like, yeah, we're going to go look, we're going to come back. Well, the people walk off and come back and show her 4 different animals from 4 different vendors. And I was like, man, screw them people. And she's like, why? They bought animals. They're in it now. She goes, and if anything that I did, I educated them on the proper way to take care of them. So at least I didn't just allow them to walk off and buy from someone else and not tell them how to do it. So I had to accept that, my wife was right. She made a valid point that no matter whether they're buying from you or not, educate everyone like they are. Because we can all learn something from somebody. There's stuff that you're doing, Chris, Levi, that I probably know nothing about, vice versa, all the way around the board. There's plenty to be shared, and we just have to start doing that. You have to treat every customer like a potential customer, whether they are or they aren't. And you have to treat everybody like they might know a little bit, but they don't know it all, because nobody does. And
No,
so you
it's
have
facts,
to,
yeah.
yeah, and you have to roll from there. And I mean, my wife's I thought I was a great salesman, but I mean, she can outsell me on any day just because of her people skills. Because she can stand there and talk to you and relate to you to where you're on a comfortable level, to where you walk up scared of a snake, and by the end of it, you're holding a 9-foot berm around your neck taking a picture. And
That's
she does it
awesome,
all the
man.
time with lots of people. Yeah. And so it's wild to see it. And to think, when we first got together, I had leucistic rainbow bows. And
Oh, I saw one of those today, by the way.
yeah, I had the leucistics, I had the albinos, and I had the candy canes that I bought from Outback Reptiles. And she hated them. Absolutely hated. I won't say hate. She didn't hate reptiles. She didn't have an understanding of them, was scared of them. But after, 7 years of being together now, she has retics. She's bottle raised baboons. She had a kangaroo in her office for a while that went to work with her every day. And now she has this understanding of animals and can educate people on them, to where she's brought a lot of people into this industry that didn't know it existed, and also educated people on ways of keeping them properly that they didn't know could be done. And so we have to accept and move on with people like that can do that for us, because without people educating people, spreading good things, showing people how to do it right, we don't have a place in anything. We're literally wrecking ourselves out of our own hobby.
No, that's facts, man. That's 100% facts. Spitting fucking straight heat, bro.
And
That's something, yeah. I mean, we can all work on it, man. Just, even all the way down to like walking around the reptile expos. You know what I mean? Like person to person, in every instance that we react with somebody, you never know who you're talking to and what their impression is going to be of this industry. Especially at expos, where we're bringing in those brand new people that have never seen this before. And again, like I do, maybe you're going to run into somebody that's a fan of prehistoric death and doesn't know any better, that, hey, retics aren't that way, man. Like, we keep these things, and go talk to any of these retic breeders at these tables, and they're going to tell you otherwise. It's not like that.
What's the
We're
most
not crazy.
notorious retic you hear about? Pieds, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of them,
or the cows.
Yeah, and my wife has 5 pieds, and at any point, you can reach in and grab them out of the tub. You can grab them out of a cage. They're not aggressive. She lets people handle them at expos, because it's all on how you raise these animals. If you cram it in a cage and you never interact with it, and the only time it thinks it's getting anything is food, well, you just taught that thing the only response it needs is to eat.
Yeah, you're about to have a real bad time on your hands, let me tell you.
Yeah,
especially as you get older and it becomes more permanent, bro. Ooh.
And we learned that through owning big cats. I mean, everything. Hoof stock. You'll have big old antelope that'll come charging a fence because they see a bucket thinking they're going to eat. And there ain't nothing in that bucket.
True.
And so it's you have to break the natural response out of them to show them that, hey, I'm going to handle you. I'm going to move you around. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But that happens through proper keeping of animals. So it's a situation that's tough and hard for everyone to accept, that we got to move away from the old school ways and start advancing. I mean, look, whether you like PetSmart or Petco, what did they do? They got rid of all the BS stuff, and they're moving towards planted terrariums and cages and stuff like that. They have followed that whole agenda of proper husbandry through changing up cages, changing up enclosures, decor, and things like that. It's no longer, here's your tank, here's your bedding, here's your light. You can go buy a complete setup that has 99% of what you need in it properly. And because they followed that.
And I've been noticing that too when I go to PetSmart or Petco.
And that's where
I've noticed some of the changes that they made too. They're starting to grow more in the reptile sections.
Yeah, and look how much their think when you went to PetSmart, 10 years ago, what their reptile displays looked like. They weren't as nice as they are now.
No,
it was carpet with an animal in it with a hide and a bowl.
That's it.
And so it's more advanced.
Yeah, that's a great point. Again, like I seen the local one next to me is like adding a couple new species, and I've seen the setups. Their fish section's gotten better. I mean, overall, PetSmart and Petco have gotten. They're working towards the future, so we'll see. We'll see where that goes before I give them credit.
And if a
When
main
they
chain
stop buying
can't
farm
leave.
bred animals, I'll be more impressed.
Yeah, and that's the deal. Is a main chain person willing to dictate and change their own agenda? Why can't we as a hobby? That fuels their industry.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's no excuse besides laziness and poor judgment of character and just not being stuck in your ways and not wanting to do it. So until we get animals out of deli cups at shows and put them in good looking displays and setups, we put lights over them to show the true colors. I mean, it all starts there.
So, Michael, let me ask you something. I'm bringing that up, right? It was presented. I don't know if it was in a group chat or a live that we were talking on. I can't remember back, but let's see how you feel about this. What if we did away with the traditional style of a reptile expo, right? Instead of bringing your animals to sell them, what if you brought animals to display and you had a tablet with open availability of what you have in stock? And it would be obviously like we could reach out to Darien on something like this, like get more market tied in. This is all the animals that the breeder has available. And you can scan through these pictures and you can see exactly what they're working with, that they are quality animals. You got an example, blah, blah, blah. But that way we don't even have to shove them in these tiny ass displays because you see 1,500 gram ball pythons shoved in something they can't fucking move. You see an adult boa shoved in this little fucking container, it can't move. And it's there for 48, 72 hours, possibly even longer, in this little ass thing. Like, aren't we shooting ourselves in the foot with that kind of thing? You know what I mean? Like, we're supposed to be talking about big enclosures, but we're going to make an exception to sell the animal.
So that's where I can kind of say, that's the double-edged deal, because how many people walk into an expo and want to buy the animal right then?
Never.
Teach them patience, man, because these animals are going to humble you and teach you to be patient. So you might as well start now.
And they are. So, and you have those people that want to see the animals right then. So do I believe in like the old Herp Society stuff? Absolutely. You know how cool it would be to keep a project a secret until you could take it and show it to all your friends and flex on them with it? Like, you didn't know I was working with this, but hey, let me bring this out and show you what I did this year. That I think that would be cool for everybody to go and show the biggest and baddest of what they've produced instead of taking 500 world's first to a freaking NARBC and saying, oh, world's first, world's first, world's first. Because at the end of it, in ball pythons now, world's first don't matter anymore. At what point do we quit caring? You stacked another gene on a gene. It's no longer a world's first. When you have 10 genes in an animal, where's the hype in it? Where's the excitement of sharing all that repetitively and over and over and over? I'm not knocking Justin or anybody who does that and produces these genetics first, but you don't see the hype anymore. You don't see the excitement.
Yeah, see, and I think a lot of that comes down to the chasing. You know what I mean? Like, everybody chases Justin. All right, so Justin did this. What are you doing? What are you going to do different? When he made the Batman, everybody wanted to make Batman.
Dude, everybody chased a Batman.
So why, why? That's the overall question is, why are you chasing them? Do your own thing. All right, so Justin made the Batman. What are you going to answer with? What can you use that Batman to inspire you to make something that's similar but different and a world's first at the same time? You know what I mean? Like, stop trying to make the Batman, because by the time the Batman hit, Justin's already got one that's going to another one. He's already got the next project lined out. Use it as inspiration.
He's got the
Don't
Joker.
use it to chase it.
Yeah, he hits the market like Apple. By the time it's your hand, it's outdated. It's no longer irrelevant by the time Justin shows you. He's already on to the next thing.
Yeah, the cotton candy one.
Imagine you took like Mutation Creation, Canova, and Aussie, right? And they're all three making each other's projects. Where the hell would this industry be? We'd be fucking running in a literal perfect circle, not knowing what the next big thing is.
Here's one thing I have to give Aussie. His Orange Dreams. You cannot deny supersede anything made after him. You will never beat Aussie's Orange Dreams.
Exactly. No, that's facts, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. Now, imagine had he chased Justin, he would have never found the Orange Dream. He'd be too busy goddamn chasing Justin. Imagine
and that's
what was Billy's big one.
So that's us with the pods. That's my wife's whole pod deal, is something has to leave pattern. But what is it? We don't know because we haven't figured it out. A lot of people got away from pods once you started seeing white snakes pop out no matter what you mixed it to. And so her theory is, well, I'm going to try this and see if it brings back pattern. If it don't, we'll try this and see. And if it don't, we'll try this. Is being different and trying to bring back the pattern versus stacking all these genetics on top of each other.
Yeah.
And that's what needs to happen is everybody needs to realize you're your own person, man. The guy you're chasing has already made a name for himself that you're never going to have as long as you're following it. Be different. Raise the bar.
Right? Be
Exactly.
you.
Instead of trying to breed 100 ball pythons, buy you 1 male, 4 females, and try to produce some stuff on your own that hasn't been done.
Exactly, because that's where I'm at. Like, show me something that hasn't been done at this point, because that's what I like about the Colubert game, man. Nobody chases anybody. It's all different varieties. That's why I like Boa so much too. I don't chase Patrick. I don't chase Chad. Like, yeah, we may have some similarities, but I'm not chasing them. Like, Patrick's doing Sharp, bro. I don't like Sharp as much as he does. There's not like a burning passion behind it. Yeah, fucking awesome Sharps. I love them. But I had decided early on, was like, I'm not going after what Patrick did. Maybe I'll throw Sharp in a project eventually, but all the other stuff that he's doing has inspired me to make my own project. Looking at Chad's stuff, I'm going to mix 2 of their lines together to make my own line because I don't want to chase either person. Like, Chad's a huge pastel person, right? Like, that's all he does at this point, basically, is pastel, and hammering that shit home. That's just badass. I'm not going to chase pastel, though. I'm going to mix it with another pastel.
And that's where you have to look at people like Father Blue, who he could have made croc monitors, or not croc monitors. He could have made black dragons. He could have went after albino water monitors like everybody else. But what did he do? He went after the small species of tree monitor and separated himself differently. And now look at where he is.
He planned it though. That's exactly what he did. He planned. Yeah. He had a plan.
And so that's what you got to plan for. Not tomorrow. Not next year. These animals take 5-10 years before you see a project. You got to plan way down the road. And if you don't do that, you're never going to get anywhere because you're going to make it. You're going to hit it, and you're going to be done with it. And then you're going to be like, oh, so-and-so made this, and so-and-so made that, so I don't care no more. I'm going to talk crap about them. No, dude. Like I said, be happy that if somebody beat you to it and the clutch didn't turn out the way you did, that you didn't waste 2 years chasing it.
Exactly. It's like I was talking to Bill over at CMB, right, with our G-Stripe project that we got going. There's one other person in the project. It's us and them, and it's like a friendly fundraiser who makes the world first. We're not chasing the world first. I will tell you what I'm chasing. We're going to take that G-Stripe project to the next level because the plan that I have for that project, I guarantee it that other person has a different plan. And if we're thinking the same thing, like telepathically, I'd be fucking terrified if we were that on point with each other to know exactly where we're taking the G-Stripe project in the future. And I hope he does something different because then we're able to offer 2 different markets,
which is how
different projects and different ideas. Like, I really, really hope he's not going the route. Like, I ain't even going to say it. Not that I'm trying to keep secrets, but like, I'm not trying to put that shit out in the universe yet because I want something to produce from it. And then we're both playing with heads. That's the other thing. Like, there's a chance that we both produce clutches when they're ready and none of us get a visual G-Stripe.
Yeah, at all. You
like,
never
that's
know.
another thing people don't count on. Like, okay, so you spent 5 years into this project. You got heads. They don't prove the first time. Guess
you
what?
You're
waiting an entire fucking season.
I was dumb enough to buy into the Paradox stuff that Jay produced because I thought 2 Paradox retics would produce Paradox retics. I got a whole bunch of white albinos, but I spent a whole lot of money buying 2 Paradoxes. There's just some things that aren't genetic that are naturally occurring freaks. And you never know that G-Stripe might be that.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to hope it ain't. You got to hope you don't add something to it that eliminates it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a play. You know, we're playing with the genetic lottery at that point.
Yeah, you're going at it with an engineer mindset that it's going to work on paper, but in reality, it might not.
Yeah, like, and I'm fully fucking prepared for that, to have absolutely no visuals. And if the guy produced the visual, cool. At least we know it works.
Yeah, and if he don't, and you don't hit it, you're like, whoa, dude, let's turn this around. Let's go this direction because he wasted all his time, and let's not do that with ours. That's where people got to be like, hey, man, congrats on the clutch, the litter, good job. I'm glad you produced them. But know yourself, like inside, you can be like, damn, fuck, I'm glad I didn't swing for the fence and hit it like he did. I'm going to go this direction. Instead of being
Exactly.
like, oh, he produced them before me, but his are less quality than mine and this and that. No.
Oh, it's
Let the
fucking
dude hit the
stupid.
market with them. So one thing I learned through the exotic animal industry is you can bring 100 $800 animals to market. You're not going to sell them all, but you can bring 100 $200 animals and you'll clear out. So let that guy take that initial hit of setting on all them animals. Let him produce them first. You come in behind him while the market's more affordable and get rid of everything.
Exactly. Yeah. And then, the other positive way to look at it is let's say that we both produce around the same time, right? And every single one of our clutch is visual. I hope his are visual too. I hope that we're able to even out a numbers, or we're both successful in this, so we can compare projects too. So we can go, well, look at what you produced. This is what yours look like. This is what ours look like. Why is there a difference? What is there a difference? And let's keep each other updated throughout this project to see it maybe eventually. We'll crisscross. Let's see if there is some kind of polymorphic trait to carry on from the lines that we created, and then it could be a so-and-so line combined with me and Bill's.
And that's what has to happen. Because you made A, B, and C. He made X, Y, and Z, but you still have 18 other letters in the middle that you got to figure out. So why not do it together?
Exactly. Teamwork makes the fucking dream work, man. And that's, I'd like to see that more from the industry and everything. Oh, you got this project, I got this project. Let's fucking throw them together and see what happens.
Like people bitch about reptile shows. Oh, it's 90% ball pythons. Let it be. Let them people go and produce the same shit every weekend. Go to a different market and create the hype. Look at the cattle industry. You hear about beef, what do you hear? Angus. Why do you hear Angus? Because the Angus producers marketed themselves to make their cattle worth more. Ball python people did it with theirs, but they have now gotten to a point that colubrids are swinging for the fucking fence and they're hitting home runs. They're coming back hard.
Here's my thing, bro. The people that complain about all ball pythons at shows, what are you doing about it? Nothing. You're not helping that at all, because you're continuing to buy ball pythons, breed ball pythons, and not get into other species. The reason that they dominate the market is because that's a snake that dominates the industry. You want to see different animals at shows, start making different animals. Yeah, you're not going to make the sales
and breed.
Exactly. You're not going to make the sales that Bob Vu's making. You weren't going to touch those doing ball pythons anyways.
No, because
sit down and humble yourself. You're not Bob Vu. You're not Justin Kabelka. You're not MJ.
No.
You need to find your niche. And in order to do that, you got to step into something new. And a lot of that's scary, man. You want to see different snakes at an expo? Produce different snakes and market yourself. Because like the first 3 or 4 expos, you may not be successful. But that 5th one, after you built all that rapport and things are stacked up, and now you've got tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of options, you hit a home run. You fucking kill it. And from there in, you built a name for yourself. Now you're up there with Bob. Now you're up there with MJ. Now you're up there with Canova. Now you're up there with whoever comes to expos is a big colubrid breeder.
And that's what too many fucking lists. You're never going to get to the top of a ladder if you're chasing a ladder someone's already on top of.
True.
You'll never get there because somebody's always going to be stepping on your head.
Mm-hmm.
So until you grab your own ladder and you run for the fucking top with nobody in front of you, doing something all your own, you're never going to get there. You're never going to be there.
Exactly. Amen. You got a niche and make your own thing and do your own thing. And
there's too many projects that people could focus more quality over quantity on and do a whole lot better with, but they don't. Because they're too worried about, well, I want to walk up to so-and-so and him shake my hand because I spent $40,000 with him. I'm sure he's going to shake your hand because he might make another $5,000 off of you, knowing that you chase what he produces. Why don't you produce something that he wants? Why don't you go after something he hasn't done? That's what you need to do.
Shout out to my boy Zach, bro. Fight his life. He done did that.
So, I mean...
Hey, Jake said you're a great dude.
Who said what?
Jake. From JK.
Oh, Jake. I mean,
yeah.
That dude, I mean, look at Jake. Sell me your pods. Folk will being a punk. No. He's got 2 female pods that I want, but he won't let me get them. But I mean, look at what Jake's doing. He just produced the blue hypo het purple clutch. A lot of people didn't buy into that blue hypo stuff because nobody thought it was going to be nothing. But what's going to happen when he produces a purple blue hypo? Everybody's going to want it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, agree.
I mean, I remember back in the day, Jake made the Matrix clutch. Y'all probably don't even know about that. He bred 2 retics together. I don't remember the locales on them. Produced this wild clutch that he called the Matrix. It never I think he lost the adult female or something, or he couldn't produce it again. But those were the wildest looking babies. And I mean, they were killer. And the dude made some awesome stuff. And I mean, it's unfortunate that it never happened again because that was one of those things that just off looks, they would have killed an albino and other things. But he went a route that nobody else did. Shane with Sunfire. Used to have Paul Lucas with the purples. That dude used to produce some of the darkest, wildest purples that weren't Sunfire.
Yeah.
You have Gavin and Amanda. They produce stuff all the time. Wild-ass looking stuff from 2 nice people that are drama-free. That they're in it literally for the longevity and care of the animals. Brian and Kathy over at Reptile Revival just produced the world's first orange glow Superdwarf stuff. But to them, they just produced some quality snakes that are now going to be in a market. They don't care about it being the world's first. They're just excited that the project worked. The project came through and, hey, now I can make these available to people. I got a couple holdbacks. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, respect. No, I completely agree with you, man. All right, Michael. So we're going to have to line up a part 2, bro, because there's so much more to this. Like, we need to.
Oh, dude, I got
For real.
days of this.
We need to.
And you said that
but,
too when we invited you on. You said I could go like part 100.
Yeah, dude, I can keep this going. I mean, forever. I mean, we can go all the way down to anything from where the exporting starts to the carrot the shows to the carrot homes to the quality of shit pictures people post and then get upset that people comment on them. You don't want people commenting on your pictures. Don't post a picture. Take your animals to expos and quality enclosures and show them what you have.
Hey, speaking of positivity, I got a good positivity today. I got asked to do like advertising for somebody because my videos, they like the way my videos are and everything. Like advertise for them on their page.
Your communication skills are pretty clear there, buddy.
Oh, it's messed up or what?
What are you trying to say? I'm advertising on somebody's page because they like my video?
Yeah, they like my reels.
So they want you to edit some stuff for them, or they want you to advertise your stuff.
Yeah, advertise. No, using their on their page. I'll be advertising their stuff on their page.
Oh, see, some people want me to edit their things for videos to advertise for them. That's what you're saying.
I just said that.
No, not that clear though. You said it from like the back of the instruction manual.
It doesn't matter how it came out. God damn.
I mean, fuck, the crayon can't get any farther up your nose on that.
Man, you're gonna get in that boat with Levi. I'm gonna have to put you through that table too.
What table?
The one at Arlington that we're gonna put Levi through.
Michael, are you coming to Arlington?
Enough to pick up 2 people.
I am strong enough to pick up 2 people.
Your legs are gonna go out, bro.
Last time you thought you were strong enough to pick up 2 people, you fell out of your bed and realized you were dreaming.
God damn. This guy has comebacks for days. Oh my goodness.
You gonna talk about the girl at San Antonio, and what'd you tell her? The only game you got's Monopoly and it's dusty in your closet?
That was a good one. I'm gonna steal that one though, by the way.
I mean, you can steal what you want, but it's all on how you use it.
True.
You can't look at her and be like, "Want to come over for Monopoly?" That's the only game I got. So you just ruined it.
That's not what the
He's gonna do it reverse, bro. He's gonna be like, "We're gonna go play Monopoly."
I see what you did there. Good one, Mike.
I mean, but no, I mean, we can always sit down and talk about this. I mean, I'm willing to sit down with anybody and talk about it. But I'll be at Arlington. We'll be there Friday through Sunday. My hotel's
booked. You're gonna have to team up and knock Chris's little chicken legs out from underneath him.
I got Dax
upside down,
and I got.
Like I
said, we also got Josh.
But
we got Josh. I got Josh.
But here's where I've gotten lucky.
Ain't nobody scared of Josh either, bro. That dude could barely fucking fight his way out of bed every morning.
But look, I got to look out for Levi, Chris. If we come after you, then we're going to get an animal cruelty charge, and we don't want that.
True.
We go
Because
after
I'm
Dax.
gonna turn into a beast on your ass.
We can't go after Dax. That's assault on the elderly.
Where are they, by the way? How did they not come into this one?
He's probably bowling or something after
No.
freaking looking like Homer Simpson.
No, Dax and Tate, they drove straight here, dude. They said they were tired.
Oh, poor babies.
I mean, they look tired.
I remember my first 3-hour road trip.
You know, I asked for a picture with Tay, and Tay said, "No, I don't want to see your ugly face next to mine." I said, "All right."
But I mean, yeah,
No.
we'll be at NARBC. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be crazy. It always is a good time. We don't go to the US Arc auction though. We go and have fun outside of that.
Hell yeah, I know. That's why we're going.
Yeah,
We got invited to do a lot of stuff. What?
Is Levi gonna come? Are you gonna come?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Hell yeah.
He says he is. Everybody's looking forward to it because everybody can't wait to meet
Hey,
him.
you know what? All this shit that y'all are talking, and I'm making Pomona, so I'll make Arlington. All right, bitch.
I'm making Pomona. It's like 4 hours from me.
Right?
You know
it's all
what?
different.
It's a lot to balance. You guys, you know what? What's the last time you guys went to Pomona or Tinley or any of the expos outside of your state?
I mean,
Michael to pick me up.
Yeah, we just haven't scheduled that.
Exactly. When it's in state, it's easy. It's boop, boop,
I've been to
done.
Daytona. I've been to the Super Show.
Yeah, I bet you it was a pain in the ass to schedule. You got kids?
Yeah, dude, I got 4 of those things.
Hey, you like kids? You can't pull out your own driveway. It's all right.
Nah, I mean, what's the point when it's good?
Right? Damn. Damn, I was good.
You don't brag about your buddy's house when the one you live in is nice.
Oh my god.
That's a good one. That is a good one. I don't need to reach his knees though. It's gonna give out when I kick his little ass in the fucking ankle.
Yeah. We shall.
Shit's gonna be like fucking Jenga.
I'm gonna look you in the eye and snap a chicken leg so you know I ain't playing.
I hope you do, sir.
I'm gonna stand up with one of those popsicles like when you're a kid and break both of them apart. I'm gonna split you.
You're gonna be like,
oh my god,
bro.
Oh my god.
Right, bro. Let's hit these wrap ups. I gotta get to dinner. Chris is gonna go be gay.
I mean, I don't think he's gotta be.
Damn. All right. Why is your phone standing straight up and not sideways?
Because I don't lean like you. I stand upright the way a man does.
Chris, you go first.
All right, I'm gonna hit my question first, and then we'll shout out the sponsors. And then
we spent the whole goddamn podcast talking about the goddamn question. You can find a new question.
Let's hear it.
What? What would you change one thing in the hobby / industry? What would you change?
Internet.
If you could change
gone.
one thing.
Social media gone. To where we had to go back to forums to communicate.
Well, you need the internet to do that, dumbass.
Well, that's why I said social. That's why I'm saying like social media. We would get rid of Facebook, Instagram, things like that, to where we had to go back to forums back in the day.
Okay.
To where you had to read through 500 comments to see what was going on, not you couldn't click like most relevant or things like that.
What's up, Zach?
Long time no see, buddy. Okay. I'd support that. I'd like to see that and make life a lot fucking easier. We wouldn't have podcasts though.
No, we would still have podcasts, but I mean, it'd be advertised through a forum where you'd have like a whole podcast forum and so-and-so's doing this and that, and you go through and read it.
I don't know, man. It sounds like potato technology, but I digress.
Nah. But look at when the hobby was good.
Yeah, that's facts. All right, man. So all laws and restrictions lifted. You can own one mammal, one reptile. What are they? It cannot be a Komodo dragon, though.
No, I don't want no baby crap. Reptile, Tomistum, a false gharial. I don't want the Indian gharial. It's a crocodile with the long, skinny nose, but I want the false version, the banded, the big one.
Oh, that's a nice one, though.
If I had to pick a mammal to own, it would probably be a tapir.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Why do you get to pick all the cool stuff? Because you probably seen it all, right?
Yeah, because fucking work with it, bro. Come on now.
So when you've seen it and hauled it all, I mean, that or a cheetah. It would be between those two.
Cheetah.
But I couldn't adequately care for it, so I wouldn't want it. Like I
I would try
take
to run as fast as the way I can from it, but I know I'll never beat
legs to
it.
give out. We know.
Bro, stop setting yourself up, bro.
No, bro, I like it. It's funny.
Kind
God,
of like
that
you
was just
say,
like
Dax
too
told you
easy.
you're getting buff. There was your first stand-up joke of the night.
Right.
Oh shit!
But yeah,
All
no,
right,
look, let's
boys.
do this. Y'all be at NARBC. Let's sit down there. We'll just do it there.
Oh yeah, that's a while away. Yeah, we could.
6
Yeah.
weeks. Come up with some questions. Come up with some things we don't like. Let's talk about it then.
Like your
Okay.
haircut. Yeah.
It's good. You're just mad because you ain't got hair to cut.
No, I don't like your haircut.
I mean, I don't care if you do or don't. Look at your beard that tickled Dax's thighs. I ain't complaining.
Oh my god! I hope Dax sees this.
I hope he
Oh
does
man,
too.
I'm gonna send this shit over to him when we're done.
You should.
Chris is gonna go cry in the corner after this.
Nah, he's
Why?
gonna go cry.
Why?
He's gonna
I'm
run
not
into. He's
gonna
gonna
go
go to
cry.
that show again tomorrow to dive in Dax's arms. It's all good. Hold me, Daddy Dax. He's gonna call him Dee Daddy Dax. Hold me, Dee.
Oh my god! Oh man!
But
Oh,
let's see what
I can
happens.
already hear Dax tomorrow talking shit, bro. Oh damn!
Let me know when you're there. I'll call him.
Call him. I'm gonna tell you to call him. I'm gonna be, hey, call
You
Mike.
you can hear his Taylor Swift ringtone when you call him.
Oh yeah, why does he have that ringtone? Why does he have shake it off? Why?
I don't know.
I got questions. I
'Cause he
got
can't even shake
so
off.
many fucking questions.
Because the only thing he ever shook off was his age expectancy.
How many roasting Dax? He's not even here. That's fucked
That's how
up.
I do it. Wait till Arlington, dude. Wait till Arlington.
Oh my god, Arlington's
Bro,
about to be the most lit fucking show ever.
Bro, it sounds like it already,
Could
right?
you imagine when this motherfucker and Josh get together, bro?
Nah,
Oh,
who's Josh?
oh,
SB
dude, Josh
Reptiles?
is, yeah,
Is who?
he's like you too. He's quick with the comebacks.
Oh,
We need to bring him back. So if he doesn't have an expo next month,
We gotta bring both of them together, dude. We should do one with him and Josh.
Should do one at the hotel room. Get everybody in the same room,
I
fucking round table.
I ain't casting on nobody's couch.
Or Levi will.
Hey, that's up to y'all.
Chris
to
ain't
talk
even
to
got a
who's
couch,
better.
bro. It's a fucking blow up mattress. Don't give him credit where it's
For
not
real, right?
deserved.
She said, "Damn, Michael's a loaded weapon." Hell yeah.
Chris got to
Hey,
blow up
cool.
furniture like
You better cool
Spencer
those
back in the
pistols.
day.
Blow them out. Blow them out. It's enough. Save it. Save it. We gotta save the rest.
Oh, I got
You.
plenty. I got plenty. We just have to watch out. I mean, I might have a sweet tooth, but I don't hang out with suckers, so we'll watch who we hang out with at Arlington.
So you're gonna hang out with me. I'm a sweet
mean,
tooth.
Hey, you think you'd sign off on my community service hours though for helping the needy?
Yeah, I got you.
How many hours do you think we can get a day? 12? 8?
Probably 14.
Fuck it.
You're gonna
Just
carry me
about.
all day.
Project Revival in play.
Shit.
I'm
All
gonna
right,
have you
boys.
carry me around all day. All right,
Hey,
wait. Shout out to sponsors.
So, has anybody ever told you look like Joe? A Family Guy, big upper body, no legs, in the wheelchair?
Damn. I actually do have a wheelchair though, because I broke my ankle one time. But that's besides the point.
There's your Halloween fit right there.
I never thought about it, but I could put it off.
I helped you out. But yeah, we got Arlington. Let's do it. Levi, you don't come, you're missing out.
Oh, I'll be there. Trust me.
No, he's gonna roast your ass. I'm gonna let him roast your ass the whole hour. The whole fucking hour. Just hour roasting you. Michael, if you don't come.
Oh, well, I will sign in for 2 hours. We'll do this again, but I'll spend the whole 2 hours.
Bro, there ain't no way in fuck I'm missing that, bro. I can't let you, Josh, and this dude talk shit. There ain't no way in fuck.
I mean, I just know, hitting that vape like you are, that jaw can probably work wonders.
See, that was a good one. That was original. Finally, somebody said something fucking funny.
Right?
He can turn a $20 trick quicker than a magician.
See y'all at Arlington. Hell yeah, brother. We'll see you at Arlington. Shout out to sponsors real quick.
We'll have so real quick, we'll have some badass Superdoor stuff there. Brian's been lucky enough to send it to me to where I'll have it down there.
Okay.
So we'll have them Superdorf babies there, and who knows what else he'll send me between now and then. So Everybody knows going to Arlington, there's never any super dwarfs, so we'll have them.
Bro, I'm excited, dude.
What the hell is up with Texans slacking on the Super Dwarf game, bro?
Man, so I mean, I think Lucas is here with them, and that's it.
Yeah, we have Lucas.
And then we have.
Oh, and I got two now.
Slowly getting into some stuff, but I mean, we got some pretty good stuff, and I mean, anybody who knows Brian knows that if he's showing you pictures, it's because that's what he wants to share, and he keeps the good stuff hidden.
Mm-hmm. But he also has Shane stuff.
Who does?
Dax.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever.
Shane's some nice retakes, bro. That's all I gotta say.
Shane keeps all his good stuff at home. Everybody knows that.
Just saying.
It ain't called the Shane Fire because he shared it.
True.
But heck yeah, man. We'll get out of here. We'll let everybody get to their lives, and we'll let y'all do what y'all do.
Yeah,
we're gonna bring you back, brother. For sure.
Shout out to Reptile Crew, CMB. Reptile Crew being the OG. I will see you Sunday, Johnny, or Saturday at Pomona. Fuck.
Oh yeah, there is no podcast next week, guys, because he'll be at Pomona.
I do got some exclusive content coming for that.
Hey, we don't need him though. We got it. We'll kick him out.
What the fuck is this? How are you gonna host a Sexin and Flexin without me? Look at how it went last time.
Went great.
Because without second place, you wouldn't have first, and here I am.
In second place.
Nah. Yeah, but whoever asked about Brian Farley, that's Brian and Kathy, Reptile Revival. That's who Super Dwarf stuff we will have.
Okay. I don't know if I follow them.
So yeah, go to Instagram, look up Reptile Revival. I mean, you're gonna spend a lot of time cruising through there, looking at his pictures, thinking, "Damn, where's all this stuff been?" Everybody's got to start liking his stuff so we can get him to make more content and get him to start filming videos again, because the dude has really slept on as far as his video making abilities and the content he turns out when he makes videos.
You said Revival?
Yeah.
Oh, I found them.
Yeah, cruise through there a little bit, and anybody who goes to that and sees it's going to be like, there's some nice stuff hidden in there.
I don't follow him, just added him, I think. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I do follow this guy.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll have some of his stuff there at Arlington. So I mean, luckily working with him, we're going to make it accessible to where he's up, 10 minutes from Canada and can only ship out 4 months out of the year. We're going to have a bunch of it here in Texas to make it accessible almost all year.
Oh shit, that's badass.
So we're going to work together on that, and I mean, I think there's going to be a lot to come of it. And I mean, a lot of growth within the Super Dwarf industry once a lot of people start working together and making the stuff more accessible. It shows and showing it off. It's just getting it out there because it is so far behind.
Oh, I forgot. Even Jordan's going to Arlington. Fuck yeah.
Somebody's going to jail.
Yeah, no. It's going to be you.
No, because I'm snapping your little legs. They're going to grab you. I'm going to kick you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. Shout out SB Reptiles. Shout out Ship Your Reptiles. Blue Tongue Republic. And Tactical Legion. Legion Tactical. Sorry.
KC Reptile Labs.
Oh, I did say that. They were the right. You said KC Reptile Labs, didn't you?
No.
Oh, well, shout out to KC Reptile Labs. My bad.
All right, boys.
Oh, and Stitching Clothing. And Stitching Clothing.
We need a script. We out.
Yeah, we out of here. Love you guys. Remember, lift each other up. Don't put each other down. Y'all have a good night. We'll see you next week. Or the next following week. Later.
Strange Cargo where I don't post anything.
Strange Cargo, he parks everywhere. Y'all have a good night.
This dude, short bus. Later.
Sometimes I think that I'm a